Chapter 248. Soon, the date of their engagement was confirmed. It would be held half a month later. Mama Sheng had drafted the guest list as soon as possible. But when she handed it to her husband and Grandpa Sheng rejected many of the big shots on the list. Of course, it was not that they did not want to give Xing Xiao face. But they felt that it was not necessary to make this event look like a wedding. If they invited everyone, it would be embarrassing if they broke up. They only needed a few people to answer to old Shen. After all, the two families had been friends for many years. They could not embarrass the Shen family. Mama Xing did not agree, but Papa Xing immediately stopped her and pulled her back to his bedroom. What do you want to do? How grand do you want to be? I have given you enough face. There are no restrictions. But you have to listen to me about the guests. How grand can it be if there are no guests? Mama Xing laughed. I won't look for you for this matter. I'll go straight to eighth brother and see if our son agrees. It's just an 18-year-old child. The Shen family has given him enough face. What else do you want? Mama Xing did not talk to her husband anymore, because she knew it was impossible to communicate with him. So she called Xing Xiao. Son, I have time tonight. Let's meet. In fact, Xing Xiao already knew that this would happen. After all, he was the only one who cared about Qi. If old Xing really wanted to, he would have wanted to meet his granddaughter-in-law a long time ago. However, old Xing did not even mention a word about it. In other words, he did not care who his fiancée was. Xing Xiao looked at the guest list Mama Xing sent and put it down. Just do as the old man said. Son, by the way, I have a guest list here. With that, Xing Xiao took out the list from the drawer of his desk. Take a look. Mama Xing took it doubtfully. Then her frown eased. That's more like it. You have already thought about it, haven't you? You have to prepare for a rainy day to deal with those old fogies, don't you? Xing Xiao asked Mama Xing. Mom, I know that Qi is not valued by the Xing family. So, it is inevitable that I will fight with my family. You must be prepared. If you really treat Qi like this for the rest of your life, I'll have to thank the gods. Mama Xing was afraid that Xing Xiao would abandon her. After all, the girl had given him everything. Xing Xiao said nothing else but chuckled softly. Did you invite all these people? Jing Yun has already contacted them one by one, and I've called a few of them who hold extraordinary positions last night. They're all friends and they're willing to do me the honor. Over the years, Xing Xiao had traveled all over the world and his network was not built for nothing. It was not a problem to invite a few American tycoons, a French winery tycoon, and a Danish prince. When the time comes, both the Shen families and Xing Xiao's guests would arrive. Who would be embarrassed if Grandpa Xing's guest list was so shabby? Then I'm not worried. Mama Xing nodded but looked at Xing Xiao with a deep gaze. She knew very well that no one in the Xing family could match her son in terms of tactics. Even so, they had lived in harmony over the years, but Qi's appearance seemed to have broken that balance. Don't think too much, Mom. It would come to this sooner or later no matter who it is. No wonder you told me that you would let me meet my daughter-in-law in 3 months. You really kept your promise. Xing Xiao raised a brow, his smile confident and flamboyant. Wasn't he always like that? Since you've picked a house, I'll prepare it for you as soon as possible. You can move in after your engagement. And 2 bodyguards. Mama Xing nodded in agreement. I'll prepare everything for you. Xing Xiao, I'm standing with you for Qi. Don't disappoint me. Then why are you standing on Qi's side? Xing Xiao asked his mother, looking intrigued. Mama Xing thought about it and finally answered, I have a feeling that you would fight us to the death for her. That's not a feeling. It's real. That's why it's your son's life. Don't touch it. Mama Xing was stunned. She never knew that her son could be so possessive, and did not know if it was good or bad for Qi to be with him. But she hoped that she was doing the right thing. After Mama Xing left, Xing Xiao stared blankly at the guest list his mother had given him. There was no other reason than that he had the urge to avenge his little one. This old man was hiding something. Did he think that he did not know what he was planning? But he was not in a hurry. He still had a lot of time in the future. After the date of the engagement was announced, both the Xing and Shen families started to prepare. Grandpa Shen was very satisfied when he got to know Xing Xiao's guest list. So he invited all his good friends to the banquet. He was doing this to support his granddaughter and cheer her on. Although Grandpa Shen's good friends did not expect that the Shen family would unite with the Xing family through marriage because of the difference in seniority, what could they do when they met 2 devils? Grandpa Shen had already thrown away his dignity. In the past few days, the matter between Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao was not just a hot topic. It was a huge blow to Lin Muan, because he had already predicted in his heart that the 2 of them would never get together. because the background and culture of the two families were very different. Moreover, there was a gap in their seniority. So, he had long thought that the two of them would part ways one day. But he never expected that they would get engaged. Because of that, Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao were about to get engaged. As a young master of a rich family, there were not many people who could marry whoever they wanted. They never had the freedom to do so. That was why he drew a clear line between him and Lu Qianqian. Because he had never thought that there would be someone who could overcome the restraints of the world. In the past few nights he had thought about it a lot and kept tossing and turning. He had to figure out what he was afraid of losing and what he wanted. And Lu Qianqian's sweaty face kept appearing in his mind. He could not get it out of his mind no matter how hard he tried. That feeling was too uncomfortable. Especially when old Lin told him that he was going to attend Mu Qiqi's engagement ceremony half a month later, he suddenly had an impulse and did something very stupid. He called the previous director and asked if he still had Lu Qianqian's number. After all, didn't he delete her number before this? When he got his phone back, he hugged it and lay on the sofa. He hesitated again. Because he knew that little Pepper was really irritating. She might ignore him. She might even scold him for being a scumbag or a lunatic. But he just wanted Lu Qianqian's response. Chapter 249. He was very distressed. But he did not know that his phone was placed beside him and accidentally touched it. So he sent a message to Lu Qianqian. Are you having sex? Because every time he typed a word on his phone, there would be some related words on it. So Lin Mu and accidentally touched it and chose the related words. Then he sent the message. After a while his phone received a message. Lin Mu picked it up and was shocked. You pervert. Are you crazy? Do you want to be beaten up? When Lin Mu saw this line, all his coolness was gone. He was touched. Because Lu Qianqian finally replied. Although it was a beautiful misunderstanding. Yes, Lu Qianqian felt very complicated through the screen. She had not contacted him for a long time. Now she suddenly contacted him again. She actually felt like she had lost him and found him again. How could a scumbag like Lin Mu be worthy? *T. Let's keep in touch. I also want to try causing trouble. After Lin Mu replied, he put down his phone. He finally got rid of his annoyed mood. He whistled and went to take a shower. He did not want to do things step by step anymore. He did not want to listen to orders anymore. He did not want to contact that little Pepper anymore. When Lu Qianqian saw this, she also threw away her phone in annoyance. The scumbag. Was he still angry? But for some reason the corner of her mouth was secretly curling up. After the date of the engagement ceremony was set, the most important thing for Mu Qiqi now was the gown she would wear for the ceremony. Mama Xing really hired a top international designer to tailor the gown for Mu Qiqi. Of course, Xing Zhao's gown also needed to be matched. They took the night off and went to the boutique. But the designer was a little surprised when he saw Mu Qiqi was still so young. After listening to the shop assistant's explanation, he gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. An 18-year-old bride. You are really amazing. Now, almost everyone in the world called Mu Qiqi an 18-year-old bride. Some of them were envious while others were simply sarcastic and jealous. Xing Xiao sat on the sofa and hugged Mu Qiqi. His posture was not easy to get along with. It gave people a dangerous feeling of alienation. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. But Xing Xiao said to the shop assistant, "Change the designer, Crown Prince, this is." What he said made me very unhappy. I don't care what you say behind my back, but if you can't control your mouth in front of me, you will have to pay the price. I heard your translation just now. The shop assistants were dumbfounded. Their expressions were even uglier than crying. Crown Prince, please forgive us. These people are just trying to make a living. It's not easy. Since you know it won't be easy, then don't take advantage of it. After Xing Xiao said that, he stood up with Mu Qiqi. The measurements are done. I want to see the design in 2 days. Remember, change the designer. Mu Qiqi couldn't help saying, Xiao, those words aren't that bad. Besides, don't you get tired of doing that all the time? You're still trying to act innocent after taking advantage of me? Xing Xiao glanced at her. If I don't show my attitude earlier, they will think that I'm really just playing around. Mu Qiqi said nothing. She simply hugged Xing Xiao's arm. After all, she was about to become a young bride that everyone envied. Even so, she knew very well that she would only have Xing Xiao after she joined the Sheng family. Not even Mama Sheng could fully care for her. That was why Xing Xiao did everything he could to establish her authority and protect her. It was all because he wanted to tell others that his people were not to be touched. Mu Qiqi said nothing, but Xing Xiao understood her silence. Are you tired? I'm tired for you, Muchichi said helplessly. I didn't do anything. Especially not for you. You'll know if I'm tired later. Xing Zhao's words had a double meaning. He brought Muchichi to Jingting. Since it would be their long-term residence, Xing Xiao brought Muchichi here to check out the place. This yard has decades of history. Several generations have lived here, but it's well protected because it's often renovated. Muchichi stood downstairs. She was about to say something when Xing Xiao picked her up and walked into the villa. Xiao Xiao, I didn't let anyone touch the furnishings inside. I asked Mom to change the bed and sheets. Let's try it out now. Hey! Muchichi wanted to resist, but she was stunned when she entered the new house. The bathtub was in the bedroom, and the entire house was filled with French romanticism. It looked like a noble's home. Actually, it's very depressing, isn't it? Xing Xiao asked Muchichi. He did not do anything when he leaned over and pressed Muchichi down. Ha! The Sheng family and the outside world are giving you invisible pressure. Xing Xiao explained, completing what he did not say. Muchichi looked at Xing Xiao seriously. But I still want to be by your side. I want to be your young bride. I was very lonely when you didn't appear. It's only when you appeared that I feel that life is not so boring. That's why I'm holding you with all my might now and not letting you go. You have your aunt, grandfather, and father, but I only have you. Muchichi's heart ached at Xing Zhao's words. Such a flamboyant man, a man who was like a god, was telling her that he was lonely. But she could understand Xing Zhao's loneliness very well. The bigger the family, the less sincere they were. Even a small family was used, let alone a diamond empire like Huang Yao, who did not want diamonds in this world. So she kissed Xing Zhao's lips. In my heart, you will always be the Xing Xiao I have a crush on. The Xing Xiao who brought me to the Ferris wheel, to the revolving restaurant, and to the tattoo shop. That's why I won't leave you easily. Even if the Sheng family is hell, I will go forward bravely for you. Good girl? Xing Xiao kissed Muchichi's neck. So, you can tell me directly if there is any problem with the Sheng family. I am your young bride, but my heart is not small. Can hold many things. But what if the Sheng family embarrasses you at the engagement ceremony? Then I'll embarrass them 10 times more than me. Muchichi vowed. Because she firmly believed that a person's greatest wealth was themselves. She would not change herself for any reason. As long as there was a bottom line, she would never lose her principles when facing others. And to her, the Sheng family making things difficult for her was torturing Xing Xiao. She would not be a naive girl who would endure everything. She had to protect Xing Xiao too. Chapter 250. At Jingting Villa, the wedding night was taking place ahead of schedule, while dinner was going on in the Xing family. Because of Xing Zhao's marriage, the 4th and 7th eldest sisters had returned early. Aside from them, the eldest young master and the 6th eldest of the Sheng family had stayed in Jianchuan, while the other siblings were scattered all over the world. Xing Zhao's father was the eldest in the family, but he was the last to get married. He only got Xing Xiao when the other 3 brothers were born, and so he was the 8th child in the family. Grandfather, do you think 8th brother should go to the cemetery to pay respects to his ancestors before the engagement according to tradition? As for us brothers and sisters, shouldn't we prepare a big gift for him? 7th sister asked the old man, testing the waters. The old man chuckled but waved her off. Your sister-in-law is still young. You don't have to do that. On the surface, it appeared as if he was using Chi-Chi's age as a shield, but it also revealed to the entire Xing family that she was someone whom they did not even need to tell their ancestors about. In other words, the old man did not think much of her at all. That was why it was better not to mention it in front of their ancestors. Although we don't have to pay respects to our ancestors, we can't skip the gift. 7th sister naturally had to speak nicely in front of Mama Sheng. 4th sister glanced at the scene and then at Mama Sheng, and knew how difficult it was for her to be involved in it. And I must bring my friends on the day of the engagement to celebrate 8th brother's birthday. 4th sister was not a meddlesome person, and only went to Mama Sheng's room alone after dinner. Eldest aunt, grandfather's behavior tonight shows that he doesn't think well of the girl, and he doesn't want to acknowledge her identity. And 7th sister is the one who understands grandfather the most. If she says she wants to bring her friends, wouldn't she be bringing her best friend? It's no secret that she wants to introduce her best friend to 8th brother, but it's a complete provocation to bring her to the engagement party after knowing that 8th brother is engaged. She doesn't think much of you at all. After Mama Sheng heard that, she took a deep breath and sneered. Chi-Chi is still young. She has become a shield for everything. But before she even entered the Sheng family, she has already been used. That's right. there's anything you need me for, just let me know. What's eighth brother's attitude? If Sheng Minghui really dares to bring her here, Xing Xiao will definitely not give her face. Yesterday this brat told me that Mu Qiqi is his life. Even I, his mother, cannot touch her, let alone others. Oh? How could eighth brother say something like that? I really want to get to know this little sister-in-law. Fourth brother of the Sheng family appeared interested in meeting Mu Qiqi. You'll see them soon. Fourth sister nodded and left Mama Sheng's room. However, she bumped into Jing Yun on her way back. They looked at each other, and Jing Yun immediately lowered his head and called out, Miss Minglan, are you working for eighth brother? I'm going back to my room to rest. Then you should rest. It's been a long day. After that, Lao Si was about to return to his room, but he seemed to have thought of something and turned to Jing Yun. I want to meet this little sister-in-law. Can you arrange it? You can tell eighth brother that I won't make things difficult for her. If there's one kind-hearted person in this family, it's Miss Minglan. I'll pass on my message to young master. Fourth sister nodded and turned to return to her room. It was then that Jing Yun withdrew his gaze and clutched his chest. It had been so many years, but nothing had changed. His heart would race every time he met Miss Minglan. He knew why, but he could not say it. Because it was hidden so well, not even Xing Xiao had noticed it. Late that night, Jing Yun told Xing Xiao that fourth sister wanted to meet Mu Qiqi. Xing Xiao did not object. He knew very well who was loyal and who was treacherous in the Sheng family. Among all the siblings, only fourth sister was truly considerate of others. As for the others, they were all utilitarian. I'll bring Qi there after school tomorrow. Understood, young master. Xing Xiao hung up the phone and turned to look at Mu Qiqi, who was sleeping soundly on the bed. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, he walked to the study and looked down. He wanted to choose the best place to install the security system. He would do it himself. He would never ask someone else to do it. Qiqi would stir up a storm when she married into the Sheng family. He had to think of a way to protect her. On the other hand, seventh sister called her best friend before she went to bed. Weilan, don't worry. Grandpa doesn't care about that little girl. You still have a chance. Moreover, I tested Grandpa at the dinner table just now. He didn't object to me bringing my best friend here. It means that Grandpa hasn't given up on finding a real wife for eighth brother. You have to show your face in front of Grandpa more often. On the day of the engagement, you can come and see how weak your enemy is. I'm not lying to you. Then it's a promise. You must come when the day comes. It was not wrong to say that Mu Qiqi was weak. She was born with a stain. Even if she was Xin Jianchuan's daughter, as a member of the Xin family, she was not that legitimate. Not to mention that she was a university student, she was also a forensic doctor. There was nothing that Grandpa Xin liked about her. No wonder Grandpa Xin treated her as his own grandson and played house with her. However, she had never thought about Mu Qiqi's position in Xing Xiao's heart. Perhaps she thought that no matter how evil Xing Xiao was, he would not do anything to his sister. So, it would depend on whether she could embarrass Mu Qiqi on the engagement ceremony. The next day, Xing Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up from school and brought her to the hotel. Mu Qiqi saw that it was not the way home, so she asked him, "Where are we going this time?" "I'm bringing you to meet someone. You didn't tell me earlier." "I'm not prepared at all." Mu Qiqi glared at him. "You don't need to prepare anything to meet this person." Then Xing Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of the hotel and got out of the car with Mu Qiqi. When they arrived at the private room, Mu Qiqi was relieved when she saw that there was only one woman sitting at the small dining table. It was because fourth sister knew that using a big table would make people feel alienated. So, she asked the waiter to change the table to a small one. After all, there were only 3 or 4 people. When fourth sister saw her, she immediately stood up and said to Xing Xiao, "Is this the little sister-in-law who made eighth brother create such a big scene?" "This is fourth sister," Xing Xiao explained. "You can get to know her without worry." Chapter 251. I can't wait to see how special the girl who managed to subdue Xing Xiao is. So, I can't wait for the engagement ceremony. Fourth sister had her hair tied up and was wearing a long black dress. She looked very elegant, but her aura was very gentle. Mu Qiqi liked it very much. Now that I have met her, I am less worried after knowing about Qiqi's past. Now that I have met her, all my worries are gone. Fourth sister smiled. "Are you worried that she will be bullied?" Xing Xiao understood what fourth sister meant. Qiqi is not afraid. Her eyes are firm and fearless. She looks just like you when you were young. Fourth sister had always been a good judge of character. I can tell that you have taught her. If that's the case, I am relieved. You should know that your seventh sister is restless. That depends on how restless she is. There was a hint of danger in Xing Zhao's words. It looks like I'll have to look forward to your engagement ceremony. Mu Qiqi listened to fourth sister and knew that she really liked her sister. Although there were 8 siblings in the Sheng family, they were not that different in age. The 3 of them chatted happily. Laughter could be heard from time to time in the private room. Fourth sister was a very considerate person. She was very considerate when it came to other people's feelings. So, during the whole night, she did not even mention anything about Mu Qiqi's age. She did not even mention that Mu Qiqi was an 18-year-old bride. In the meantime, fourth sister went to the washroom. Mu Qiqi could not help but ask Xing Xiao, "How old is fourth sister? Is she not married yet?" 29. She is single. She used to have a fiancé. But he was greedy for her family background. So he kept a mistress outside. After she found out, he has been single ever since. Mu Qiqi nodded and did not ask further. But fourth sister brought Jing Yun back to the Sheng family. Jing Yun was only in his teens then. Because he is the same age as me, he has been with me ever since. I see. There are so many stories in the Sheng family. No matter how many stories there are, they are not as legendary as you, little one. Not everyone could win him over at 18. Soon, fourth sister came out of the washroom. She said, "I brought you a gift from Vienna. I will give it to you next time." Fourth sister, you don't have to be so polite. No, eighth brother asked me for it. I must get it for him. Mu Qiqi did not refuse, and the 3 of them left the hotel together. Soon, fourth sister's car sped away in front of Xing Xiao and Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi was very envious of fourth sister of the Shen family, because she remembered that Xing Xiao had mentioned that fourth sister was a legend as well. I think I'm getting to know your family better now, and you better. Mu Qiqi couldn't help telling him on the way home. Holding her little fist, Xing Xiao brought her home for a stroll. It was too close to Jingting. It was also because Old Fourth had taken their convenience into consideration. Didn't we agree to live in a small villa before the engagement? I still want to see Andy more. I suddenly regret saying that. Xing Xiao suddenly pressed Mu Qiqi against a tree by the roadside and kissed her without caring about the occasion. I wanted to kiss you like this in the small mansion too. Mu Qiqi leaned against the tree and looked at the crowd around them. She blushed. You are so naughty, Xing Xiao was satisfied after teasing Mu Qiqi. Then he let go of her and brought her back to the hotel. Xing Xiao wanted Mu Qiqi to smile like that for the rest of her life. But at the same time he felt sorry for her. Because she never cared why old Xing did not want to see her, why they had to prepare for the engagement ceremony, and why they had to fight the enemy as if it was a battlefield. It was as if she trusted him without hesitation all the way, even if she knew that she was going to suffer. Silly girl. 2 days later, the gowns for the engagement ceremony were sent to Jingting. The bodyguards that Xing Xiao had requested from Mama Sheng were also sent to Jingting. Besides that, Mama Sheng had specially hired someone to take care of Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi's daily life. It was a very thoughtful arrangement. The bodyguard was on standby. As for the maid who took care of Mu Qiqi, Xing Xiao asked her to come to work after the engagement ceremony. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was standing in the bedroom, staring blankly at the gown on the bed. Try it on. Seeing the man behind her, Mu Qiqi turned around and said, I don't want you to see it. Otherwise there will be no surprise on the day of the engagement. Xing Xiao pulled her to sit on his lap and nodded. As you wish. But you have to try it on. If there is anything that doesn't fit, we can change it. It was custom made. So fast? Xing Xiao shook his head and explained, This is a gown worn by a princess abroad. I asked someone to modify it and make it unique. It's used to show your status. Mu Qiqi looked at the gown on the bed. She immediately knew how heavy it was. I will ask Qian to help me try it on tomorrow. Xing Xiao did not force her. He pulled her closer and kissed her. It must be very tiring to prepare for the engagement. If you can't take it, I will ask Mom to simplify it. No need. As your woman, am I so weak? How many people are waiting to see me make a fool of myself? I don't want to admit defeat so easily. Mu Qiqi did not have the slightest intention to compromise. Soon it would be the day of her engagement with Xiao Xiao. It would be one of the most unforgettable events in her life. She should not let a few clowns ruin it. Moreover, who said that she was still an outsider after entering the Sheng family? She would tell the Sheng family that she and Xiao Xiao were the most compatible in this world. Are you nervous? No. After all, if someone really embarrasses me during the engagement ceremony, Grandpa and Dad will not let it go. Fourth sister was right. The little one's eyes were shining. At this moment, Xing Xiao was very obsessed with this little one. You are a bodyguard and a servant. Why don't you just be yourself? Your grandpa doesn't approve of me. But it doesn't mean that I can't get his approval. We still have time, don't we? After hearing this, Xing Zhao's eyes flashed with a smile. Then he pressed the little one on the bed. Hey, the gown is on me. Can you at least tidy up the gown? Isn't there only one? After dinner in the Sheng family, fourth sister was about to go back to her room. But seventh sister pulled her back. Sister, I heard that you went to see Xing Zhao's bride? Fourth sister looked at the owner of her hand and frowned. But she did not show it. I have seen her. She is very beautiful. Chapter 252. Fourth sister let go of her sister's hand and smiled. It's not up to you to decide what kind of wife Xing Xiao wants. It's up to Grandpa to decide what kind of granddaughter-in-law he wants. I understand that you want to push your little sister up the ladder. But seventh sister, I will not be involved in this matter. You should find someone else. Sister, we're family. Please help me. How about this? I will call Xing Xiao and ask him if he wants to change his bride. It will be a help to you. Having said that, fourth sister was about to take out her phone. But seventh sister held her hand. Sister, I am just joking. You don't have to take it seriously. You really don't need it? You stopped me just now. You want me to help you? Fourth sister asked seventh sister again. Don't blame me for not being considerate when the time comes. No, I won't. Seventh sister waved her hand. Fourth sister turned around and left. Seventh sister snorted. Do you think you can control everything just because you are older than me? I can't bully you. But I can bully the bride. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you won't be able to bully me. The next day, Mu Qiqi invited Lu Qianshan to Jingting. She wanted Qianshan to see if the gown fit her. When Lu Qianshan arrived at the villa, she was surprised. The crown prince is so generous. Qiqi, this villa is so difficult to buy. Now it is your and the crown prince's love nest. Moreover, there are bodyguards. The crown prince is so considerate. You like to laugh at me. Hurry up and help me try on the gown. Mu Qiqi took out the gown from the wardrobe. It was a full-length gown. The hem of the gown was in the shape of a feather. The body of the gown was decorated with feathers. It symbolized the wings of an angel. Lu Qianshan was stunned. Hurry up and put it on. Let me see. Mu Qiqi put on the gown. Then she felt that the front was a little empty. She covered it. My breasts are not big enough. You are wrong. The crown prince knows what is the most beautiful part of you. It is such a waste not to show your slender neck. You are so perfect. Lu Qianshan gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. It is perfect. Mu Qiqi looked at herself in the mirror and felt like she had been reborn. It was as if she was about to become another person. Crown Prince really has a good eye. I'm afraid I've given you all the best things in the world. Mu Qiqi carefully took off the gown and put it back into the closet. Then she looked at Lu Qianshan. I still want you to attend my engagement ceremony. Didn't we agree before? I'm not going. Lu Qianshan smiled nonchalantly. Moreover, that person would be put in a difficult position if she went. Anyway, I have my own considerations and things I want to protect. You don't have to worry about them. In the end, Mu Qiqi did not insist. All right then. These few days, Lu Qianshan had been thinking about a lot when she reconnected with Lin Mu Un. Since Lin Mu and was willing to continue being friends with her despite his family's objections, she could not be so impulsive and make things difficult for her friend. Since the outside world had so many opinions about her, she would try her best to keep a low profile. After having lunch with Mu Qiqi and Jingting, Lu Qianshan went to the martial arts club. Lin Mu and was already there. He was waiting impatiently. You've stepped on the ants. I'm going to Jingting to see Mu Qiqi try on her gown. Lu Qianshan changed into her sportswear and walked to the sandbag. Aren't you going to her engagement ceremony? Lin Mu and asked curiously. Do you think it's good for her if I go? Lu Qianshan clenched her fist and punched the sandbag. Since you know what to do, why go and embarrass yourself? If you want to go, I have a way. Lin Muan said. I lack a female companion. I can help you to dress up. Won't it be even more embarrassing if you are exposed? Lu Qianshan glared at Lin Muan. Don't keep coming up with stupid ideas. Lin Muan laughed when he heard that. Lu Qianshan, you are pretty and have a good family. Why are you blind? If I'm not blind, how can I be your friend? Lu Qianshan snorted. Let's meet somewhere else. It's not just the martial arts club. You still owe me a day. If you are photographed, your reputation as young Master Lin will be ruined. Lu Qianshan did not think much of it. If worst comes to worst, I will fall into the devil's path with you. Lin Mu, and smiled warmly. If we want to be friends, we should be the most loyal and considerate ones. Otherwise we are just plastic flowers. Lu Qianshan did not say anything. She just smiled secretly when she turned around. When she is getting engaged, you should help to keep an eye on her. If there are any messy people who cause trouble for Qi, help her to make a name for herself. Lin Mu, and patted his chest after he heard that. What's wrong with that? Leave it to me. Then Lin Mu, and chased after Lu Qianshan and asked, do you know how to swim? I need a coach. The kind where I can kiss and breathe in the water. And Lu Qianshan's answer was, of course, a beating. The preparation for the engagement was very fast. Mama Sheng tried her best to make it unforgettable for her son. And the Shen family asked Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao to go to the Shen family's ancestral hall 3 days before the engagement. Although there was no place for Mu Qiqi in the Sheng family, Xing Xiao was recognized as their grandson-in-law in the eyes of the Shen family. Tell the ancestors that the Shen family has a new member. Grandpa Shen stood behind them and said to them, Xing Xiao, I don't know the rules of the Sheng family. But from today onwards you are also a part of the Shen family. If you dare to let Mu Qiqi down one day, the Shen family's ancestral hall and the rules in Grandpa Shen's hands will be ready for you. I will remember. Xing Xiao only answered Grandpa Shen with these 4 words. Since you have told the ancestors, you can go now. See you at the engagement ceremony. Grandpa Shen said to them. Grandpa, go. Grandpa Shen drove Mu Qiqi away. Mu Qiqi wanted to say something, but Grandpa Shen had already turned his back to them. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and led her out of the Shen family. We are staying in Jingting, not in the Sheng family. You can come back to the Shen family anytime. Mu Qiqi turned around and looked at Grandpa Shen. Then she got rid of Xing Xiao's hand and knelt at the door. She kowtowed to Grandpa Shen. She would not let down the glory of the Shen family. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi. When she kowtowed to him, he said, it's not too late to regret it now. You are already claiming that you are the grandson-in-law of the Shen family. Do you still want to deny it? Mu Qiqi stood up and glared at Xing Xiao. Xiao, you are so worried now. It means that the engagement ceremony will be exciting. Chapter 253. On the night before the engagement, Mama Sheng arranged for them to have dinner alone. She also wanted Papa Sheng to meet his daughter-in-law before the engagement, so that he would not make a fool of himself during the engagement ceremony. In fact, her husband's indifference towards this matter had left a scar in Mama Sheng's heart. So, she did not expect her husband to acknowledge Mu Qiqi's identity, because it was not important. She was never a woman who depended on a man. It was fine if her husband did not like Mu Qiqi. She would love Xiaoqi just like her son. No one could force others to stand on the same side as them, even if that man was their own husband. It was 7 o'clock at night. Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi along. They dressed up and went to meet his parents in the hotel. Of course, Xing Xiao had already given Mu Qiqi a heads up beforehand. As a father, he just had to put on a perfunctory front on the surface. There was no need to deliberately curry favor with him because he knew very well what kind of person his father was. Soon the 4 of them sat in the dining room. Papa Sheng studied Mu Qiqi from the moment he sat down. Although he was looking at her cursorily, he did not make things difficult for her. After all, he still had to give face to the Shen family. Mu Qiqi did not have stage fright. Her posture was very calm. Every movement of hers was very calm. She showed great manners. Mama Sheng nodded in satisfaction when she saw that. Although Xiaoqi had a rough life, she did not slack off in terms of etiquette. She behaved like a lady of a rich family. This was the first time Papa Sheng saw her, so he could not find any fault with her. So, Papa Sheng could only pick on Xing Xiao's faults. Although you are engaged, you should still focus on your career. After dinner you should go home. I have something important to tell you. I am engaged tomorrow. Xing Xiao did not think much of it. It won't affect your good fortune. Papa Sheng snorted. But he could not find fault with Mu Qiqi from the beginning to the end. Moreover, he was very conflicted. He did not like Mu Qiqi. But he was afraid of her identity as a Shen. So he could only ignore her. When it was almost time for dinner, he told Mu Qiqi, you are only 18. You are very young. But don't exhaust Xing Xiao too much. Do you understand? You must be a good wife for him. 18 is the right age to have fun, but I hope that he will still focus on expanding his career. Can you promise me that? Mu Qiqi did a double take and was about to answer when Xing Xiao put an arm over her shoulder and told Papa Sheng, she won't agree to anything because I'm the one bothering her. Papa Sheng was angry, but he didn't flare up. Instead, he sighed helplessly and left first. Your father wants you to come home. Let me send Chi-Chi home first. Mama Xing said to Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao shook his head and refused. I'll take her home with me and let her stay in my room. We'll go home together when this is over. When Mama Xing heard this, she could only nod. Even Mom is worried? It's not that I'm worried. I just can't bear to part with you for even a second. Xing Xiao held Mu Chi-Chi's hand and smiled at Mama Xing. Mama Xing couldn't do anything to her son, so she cleared the way for him. Logically speaking, Chi-Chi is perfectly justified in going to the Sheng family. She shouldn't have any scruples. Still, I know that the brat doesn't want to make you uncomfortable, so I won't tell the rest of the Sheng family. Thank you, pretty aunt. Mu Chi-Chi could feel that Mama Xing treated her sincerely, from the preparations for the engagement ceremony to the reception of people. That was why she could treat Mama Xing as her own mother. Soon, the two cars drove into the Sheng's residence one after the other. Mu Chi-Chi was left in awe when she saw the entire villa complex. After all, she had seen a lot of things, but she was still shocked by the Sheng family's grandeur. We went to 8th brother's room from another route. You can rest in his room first. Mama Xing opened the door to Xing Zhao's room and settled Mu Chi-Chi inside. If you want to come out and get to know everyone, I can bring you, Mom? It's okay, Mom. Mu Chi-Chi answered a little awkwardly. You'll be Mom after tomorrow. You don't have to be nervous. Mama Xing said gently and closed the door for Mu Chi-Chi. This was the place where Xiao Xiao grew up. It was designed in a very masculine style. It was tough and sexy. The whole room was mainly gray, but it was not monotonous at all. Mu Chi-Chi walked around Xing Zhao's room. Then she sat on his big bed and waited. She could see that Xiao Xiao did not like to read. There was not even a magazine in his room. At that moment, Xing Minghui heard that Xing Xiao was back. So she told her best friend Huilan the good news. Huilan, this is your last chance. 8th brother is getting engaged tomorrow. He's living outside now. It's not easy for him to come back. You must seize the chance. Are you sure he's back? The light in his room is on. Xing Minghui was very excited. You're so beautiful. You have such a good family background. And you like him so much. I can't think of a reason for him to reject you. At least, you're better than that stunted girl, right? The other party weighed the pros and cons. She felt that this might be her chance. She wanted to see if she could make Xing Xiao not get engaged to Mu Chi-Chi. Then I'll come over now. We're so close. I'll wait for you. Xing Minghui felt that she could still fight for her friend. Because she was confident that her friend was better than Mu Chi-Chi in every aspect. But she never thought that as the crown prince of Huang Yao, Xing Xiao could get any woman he wanted. Since it was Mu Chi-Chi, she must have her strong points. A person's feelings were not about comparing conditions all the time. But of course she was still single. So she did not understand this. At that moment, Xing Xiao was still in Papa Sheng's study. And Mu Chi-Chi was waiting in Xing Zhao's room. Mama Xing knew that 4th sister liked her sister-in-law. So she told her that Mu Chi-Chi was in Xing Zhao's room. 4th sister had just returned home. She wanted to tidy herself up before going to Xing Zhao's room. But then Xing Minghui and her friend had already arrived at the door of Xing Zhao's room. 8th brother, are you there? Xing Minghui knocked on the door to listen to what was going on inside. Because Mu Chi-Chi had just washed her hands, she could hear the sound of water. So Xing Minghui was sure that someone was inside. I know you're there. Open the door for me. Mu Chi-Chi did not answer. She thought that since she could not hide anymore, she might as well meet the Sheng family. But Xing Minghui said to Huilan, you can talk at the door. He will definitely hear you. Then turn around. Xing Minghui's friend said to her, blushing. Chapter 254. Xing Xiao, I'm Huilan. I know you are getting engaged tomorrow, but... Hearing this, Mu Chi-Chi retracted her hand from the doorknob. She stopped moving. Because she knew what kind of situation she was in. I'm not satisfied. I want to ask you personally. Can you not get engaged tomorrow? Hey, tell me what's on your mind. Xing Minghui was a little anxious. She urged her friend. You must have a reason to stop Xing Xiao from getting engaged, right? Actually, I've been paying attention to you for a long time. Our family background is similar. Moreover, I'm good friends with your 7th sister. I don't want to miss you. So, I shamelessly came to your room at night. I want to ask you. If I tell you that I like you too, will you consider not getting engaged to that little girl? There was no response in the room. To be exact, Mu Chi-Chi had taken out her phone and recorded the conversation. Can you open the door for me? Xing Xiao, it's disrespectful of you to do this. At that moment, 4th sister came to Xing Zhao's room. She frowned when she saw seventh sister and her friend there. What are you doing here? I'm looking for Xing Xiao. Haven't you given up yet? Fourth sister was a sharp-eyed person. She knew what seventh sister was trying to do. Do you know who is in the room? Who? It's not Xing Xiao. Fourth sister replied. I didn't expect you to do such a thing. They are getting engaged tomorrow. Are you trying to snatch the bride? Xing Minghui's face darkened. She looked at her best friend. Both of their faces were red because they did not expect such an outcome. Fourth sister, I just want Xing Xiao to have more choices. After all, that little girl from the Shin family is not good enough for Xing Xiao. Fourth sister did not want Mu Qiqi to be sad. So she called Xing Xiao. Where are you? Something happened outside your room. Come back for a while. Sister, since you said you want Xing Xiao to have more choices, I'll help you inform him. After hanging up, Xing Xiao left Papa Sheng and went back to his room. But he saw 3 people at the door. So, Xing Xiao, you should deal with this yourself. Fourth sister looked at Xing Minghui and her friend seriously. It's so late and seventh sister is going to start singing? It would have been better if Xing Xiao had not opened his mouth, but when he did, it was a terrifying tone. Then let's go to the Xing family's hall to sing. Lao Ba, don't embarrass our guest. Hui Lan is your guest tomorrow. Is that so? A guest should be where a guest should be. I don't think she should appear in front of my room. Xing Xiao made a welcoming gesture. Xing Minghui was left speechless and could only lead her friend ahead. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao gestured to fourth sister to comfort the little one in the room. Fourth sister nodded and made an okay gesture. When they arrived at the living room, everyone from the Xing family was invited, including Papa Xing, Mama Xing, Grandpa Xing, third uncle and fourth uncle. Of course, seventh sister was fourth uncle's child. Xing Xiao, what are you doing at this time of the night? I don't want to. But, third uncle, I really want to know how fourth uncle teaches his daughter. Xing Xiao sat on the sofa, not afraid of anyone at all. Grandpa Xing was prepared that Xing Xiao would make a scene. He loved and hated this grandson at the same time. Xing Xiao, what do you mean? Fourth uncle stared at him and asked. I want to know what seventh sister is thinking. Why did she bring your best friend to my room the night before my engagement? What? Did she bring me a woman? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Minghui and asked. You are the eldest daughter of the Sheng family, and you are my elder sister. Is it appropriate for you to do this? Xing Xiao, I mean well. Moreover, Huilan likes you. I just want to give you another choice. Not to mention Xing Xiao, even Mama Sheng was angry when she heard what Xing Xiao said. So I am not Xing Xiao's mother. You are, aren't you? You even know to prepare another wife for my son. Eldest aunt, that's not what I mean. Since that's not what you mean, you should know shame as a young lady of the Sheng family. You brought an unmarried child to the Sheng family. Moreover, she is in front of Xing Xiao's room. Do you know how much it will affect him? Who do you want to ruin? Do you need to decide what kind of woman Xing Xiao likes? Xing Minghui blushed. She did not know what to do. Because Mama Sheng had never been so angry at the Sheng family. That little girl is not good enough for Xing Xiao. It has nothing to do with you whether she is good enough for him or not. Grandpa Sheng was furious when he saw his family quarreling. Enough. Although seventh sister has crossed the line, she means well. Moreover, there are guests here. Don't embarrass them. Grandpa, I just want to, don't think about anything. Qiqi is in Xing Xiao's room. She saw what you did just now. Mama Sheng was trembling with anger. She told Xing Minghui directly. Let the Shin family see how seventh sister looks like. Let them see how different she is from the pimps outside. Xiao Qin, you've crossed the line. Grandpa Xing scolded Mama Sheng. You want your friend to get engaged to me, don't you? Xing Xiao, who had been silent for a while, suddenly spoke. No one knew what he meant. But they could feel that his evil nature was acting up again. Fine. Get engaged to me. Then I will tie her up and throw her into the Atlantic Ocean. You know that I like to watch sharks hunting for food. Or I should say that there is a new amusement park in America. The roller coasters there do not require seatbelts. I have been wanting to let someone try it for a long time. Since Miss Huilan likes me so much, why don't you help me try it? Or perhaps Miss Huilan likes the sun? I like to see people being hung on a mountain. Enough. Xing Xiao, is this how you treat a toy? Xing Minghui was angry. She likes you. It's not wrong. Since she is willing to be with me, what's wrong with suffering a little? I like to treat women like this. What's wrong with me? Didn't you want to ask me if I have another choice? What? Are you not satisfied with my answer? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Minghui coldly. I've been like this since I was young. Is this the first time you see it? Xing Minghui's mouth was trembling. She could not say a word. As for her friend, she was so scared that her face turned green. Babe, I think I'll go home first. Huilan couldn't stand Xing Zhao's piercing gaze anymore. It made her shudder. Chapter 255. Xing Minghui questioned Xing Xiao when she saw him losing his composure. Even if you don't like her, you don't have to scare her like that. I'm serious about every word I said. Xing Xiao looked straight into Xing Minghui's eyes. Let's talk about Seventh Sister now. Fourth uncle, shouldn't you give me an explanation? Why did your daughter bring another woman to my room the night before my engagement? Xing Xiao, your seventh sister just wanted to do something for you. You don't have to be so aggressive. Fourth uncle told Xing Xiao calmly. It's your daughter's fault now. Don't turn your attention to me. If I let this matter go, I'll be even more lawless in the future. I don't know if I'll give seventh sister a black man or something when I'm in a good mood. Then I'll let seventh sister show off her international pedigree. Xing Zhao's eyes were filled with a rebellious light. He was fearless. Fourth uncle was shocked when he heard that. But he couldn't find any words to refute Xing Xiao. Because Xing Xiao was telling the truth. If Grandpa Xing didn't punish Xing Minghui today, it would be a precedent for Xing Xiao. He would be even more unscrupulous. Grandpa, look at what Xing Xiao said. Xing Minghui was shocked too. Because it was definitely something Xing Xiao would do. Grandpa Xing took a deep breath. Then he looked at Xing Minghui. Apologize to your brother. Moreover, you don't have to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. I'm not the one she should apologize to. Mom, please bring Muqiqi here. Xing Xiao turned to Mama Xing. Mama Xing nodded and got up from the sofa. Xing Minghui was reluctant. But when she thought about the black man Xing Xiao mentioned just now, her palms were sweating. Xing Xiao, is it worth it for you to fall out with your family just for a little girl? Old man, it's not because of Qi that I'm doing this. It's just that I really don't like the way Seventh Sister does things. No matter who gets engaged to me today based on Seventh Sister's way of doing things, shouldn't she be hacked into pieces? Grandpa Xing was speechless. Then he got angry. I'm not feeling well. You guys can do whatever you want. Of course, Xing Xiao knew that no matter what he did today, Grandpa Xing would blame it on Muqiqi. But he didn't care. He just couldn't let the little thing suffer, whether it was now or in the future. As long as someone bullied Qi, he would deal with them first. Soon, Mama Sheng and fourth sister brought Muqiqi to the living room. Seeing so many elders, Muqiqi greeted them after Mama Sheng introduced them to her. Of course, it was awkward to meet under such circumstances. Muqiqi could feel her father's disdain and indifference towards her. Isn't there someone who wants to apologize? Xing Xiao pulled Muqiqi to sit beside him and reminded Xing Minghui. Xing Minghui was helpless. She walked up to them and said, Sister-in-law, I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry at me. I promise that I will treat you like a family member from now on. It's good enough that seventh sister doesn't cause trouble. Xing Xiao looked up at her and said, I hope that fourth uncle can teach your daughter well in the future. An unmarried girl shouldn't worry about other families. Fourth uncle snorted coldly and returned to his room with Xing Minghui. The other elders also left one after another. Only Mama Sheng and fourth sister stayed in front of Xing Xiao and Xing Minghui. Although we have offended some elders today, it's inevitable for Xing Xiao to do this. Seventh sister has gone too far. Fourth sister comforted Muqiqi. Xiaoqi, don't take it to heart. We have been through this for so many years. It's not because of you. Don't take it to heart. Fourth sister, I understand. Muqiqi comforted fourth sister. All right. Seventh sister has gone too far today. Don't think too much about it. Go back and rest early. Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. You still have a lot of work to do. But judging from Grandpa's attitude, he is angry tonight. He might not attend the ceremony tomorrow, fourth sister guessed. It doesn't matter. He will come. Xing Xiao was very sure. Then he hugged Muqiqi and stood up. Mom, fourth sister will go back first. Go. Mama Xing nodded. When they had gone far away, she sighed and said to fourth sister, I really like Qiqi. She can endure anything for Xing Xiao. She is not the kind of person who values a rich family. What the Sheng family thinks is great might not be what she wants. Eldest aunt, I have never seen Xing Xiao so angry at home. Look at him. He did not care about seven sisters' feelings at all. It's obvious that he is trying to show off his power to Qiqi. So don't worry. Fourth sister comforted Mama Sheng. Moreover, Qiqi is not the kind of girl who will be controlled by others. She is talented and has her own ideas. We can't tell what will happen in the future. Mama Xing smiled. Then she pointed at fourth sister's lips and said, "You are the sweet one." After that they went back to their rooms to rest. However, on their way back, fourth sister bumped into Jing Yun again. So she stopped him. "Jing Yun, take good care of your young master. Miss Minglan, you have to take care of yourself too. You have lost weight again." Fourth sister nodded. "Come to my room. Give Chi-Chi a present. I forgot about it tonight." Jing Yun followed behind fourth sister in a daze. Then he saw her taking out a big gift box and a small one. "The big one is for Chi-Chi. The small one is for you. I remember that you liked robots when you were young. You saw a special one in Vienna. So you bought it?" Jing Yun's eyes changed instantly. He took the gift and thanked fourth sister. "Thank you, Miss Minglan." But in fact, only he knew how turbulent his heart was. Fourth sister did not forget about him. Every time she went, she would bring him a gift. He kept it in his heart to warm himself. On the way back to Jingting, Mu Chichi peeped at Xing Xiao more than once. Although she knew that his expression was the same as usual, she could feel that he was angry. "I am fine. You are fine. But I am not." Xing Xiao sped up. "If fourth sister did not see it, were you planning to keep it a secret? I have recorded it. I am going to open the door and let them know that Xing Xiao's woman is inside." Mu Chichi explained. "Do you think that I will swallow my anger? Don't forget that I am also the one who tore Rong Junhan apart. Do you think that your seventh sister is my opponent? You really want to see it? So, I am the one who made you useless?" Chapter 256. Do you care? Xing Xiao drove the car into the parking lot of Jingting and brought Mu Chichi home. "I don't care. I still have Grandpa and Dad," Mu Chichi said. "It won't be too embarrassing." Grandpa Xing's attitude towards Mu Chichi would determine how the Xing family would treat her. And Grandpa Xing would most likely not attend the wedding tomorrow because he had forced Xing Minghui to do it tonight. He was a vengeful person and would definitely punish him. But he was not worried. He had a way to make Grandpa Xing attend the wedding tomorrow. When they reached home, Xing Xiao saw that Mu Chichi had rearranged everything in the house. She changed into the couple's pajamas and shoes. Everything was for two. Xing Xiao could not help but press Mu Chichi against the wall. "Are you so impatient that you want to be with me?" Mu Chichi smiled. Mu Chichi could feel his hot hands moving over her body. She explained, "It's so beautiful. I feel like I am possessed." Xing Xiao tore Mu Chichi's clothes and exposed her chest. "The world is so big and there are so many women. Why must I have you?" Mu Chichi unbuttoned Xing Xiao's shirt and kissed his chest slowly. "Because you love me." Right by the door, right on the corridor, Xing Xiao kissed the little one fiercely. She would become his fiancée tomorrow. While the two of them were passionately kissing, they had unknowingly taken off their clothes. By the time they regained their senses, their bodies had already involuntarily moved closer to the bed. Everything in the house came in pairs. It made Xing Xiao feel a sweetness he had never felt before. So, at this moment he just wanted to love his Xiaoqi, he wanted to give her his most gentle love. So, it was rare for Mu Chichi to feel Xing Xiao's gentleness. And it was like a feather brushing against her body. "I can't take it anymore?" "You can't take it anymore?" Xing Xiao lifted her chin and smiled. Then he continued what he was doing, making the little woman feel comfortable in both body and mind. Of course, Xing Minghui was embarrassed and humiliated by Xing Xiao that night. She threw a tantrum for hours after she returned to her room. But she had nowhere to vent the grievance in her heart. More importantly, she was not allowed to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. Who cared? However, she couldn't let Mu Chichi have an easy time. So, she called all her good friends and told them to help her cause trouble for Mu Chichi tomorrow. She didn't believe that Mu Chichi would be easy to deal with. To her, Xing Xiao was too much of a scum. She had good intentions and yet she was treated like this. In front of the whole family, the young lady of the Sheng family had to apologize to that silly girl. Not only that, but Hui Lan was also scared away. From now on, Hui Lan would probably never want to contact her again, right? How abominable. Whenever Xing Minghui thought about it, she would feel annoyed. Fourth sister was also fawning over that silly girl. Would something that even Grandpa doesn't approve of have a good ending in the Xing family? I'll wait and see. The next day was the engagement ceremony of the Crown Prince of Huangyao. Because it was too grand, the media broadcast it live from the venue to the guests. Because Xing Xiao was so influential. Mama Xing seemed to have made up her mind. She wanted everyone to know that her son already had a fiancé. Although she could not stop her husband and Grandpa Sheng from making other plans in the end, she had to do it within her power. She wanted to do it with a clear conscience for her son and Mu Chichi. In the wee hours of the morning, Xing Xiao sent Mu Chichi back to the Shin family. The next morning he went to welcome her. Mu Chichi woke up early and started to dress up. Grandpa Shin's eyes turned red when he saw how beautiful his granddaughter was. I thought that it's still early. You're still too young. I can keep you for a few more years to make it up to you. But, Grandpa. Mu Chichi held Grandpa Shin's hand. She felt very sorry for him. After I got engaged to Xiao Xiao, I still come home to visit you and second aunt's family. I'm not lost. Don't be so sad. Xin Jianchuan came home from the hospital in the wee hours of the morning. Seeing how beautiful his daughter was, he couldn't help but say, "My dear daughter, Daddy." Mu Chichi bent down and hugged Xin Jianchuan gently. "I'm sorry. I haven't done my duty as a daughter. I haven't taken good care of you. Do you think that your father is old?" Xin Jianchuan couldn't do anything else. He could only comfort Mu Chichi. "Wait for me. I'll definitely recover. Then I'll take care of my daughter personally. All right, don't cry." Huang Yu stood at the side and persuaded them. "Xing Xiao will come to pick you up later. If you cry and embarrass yourself at the engagement ceremony, it won't be good." Actually, there were not such strict rules at the engagement ceremony. But Xing Xiao was considerate of Mu Chichi's desire to see the Shin family. So, he sent Mu Chichi back to the Shin family in the wee hours of the morning so that she could accompany her grandfather and father. As for Su Zipei, Mu Chichi didn't want her to be too excited because she was pregnant. So she did not bring her over. Soon the sky was bright. A beautiful white car had arrived at the entrance of the Shin family. Xing Xiao was wearing a black handmade suit today. It was rare for him to be formal. It showed the maturity and responsibility of a man. When she saw Xing Xiao, Huang Yu asked Mu Chichi to stand up and turn around. It was the first time Xing Xiao saw Mu Chichi wearing that gown. Just like what she said, she wanted to give him a surprise. At this moment, when Xing Xiao saw Xiao Qi putting on the gown for him, he felt indescribably proud of himself. The sense of ceremony rose in his heart. "Xing Xiao, I'll leave Mu Chichi to you," Grandpa Shin said. Then he put Mu Chichi's hand in Xing Xiao's. "Don't let anyone bully her. Mu Chichi is so beautiful. How would Xing Xiao dare to bully her?" Huang Yu smiled. "Everyone, let's go. It's almost time." Xing Xiao led Mu Chichi and walked in front. At this moment, the newlyweds were the most beautiful couple in the world. Mama Sheng and fourth sister also came to welcome Mu Chichi. When they saw Mu Chichi in her gown, their eyes turned red without knowing it. "Xiao Qi is so beautiful." Xing Minglan sighed. "She's young and beautiful. From the looks of it, Xing Xiao is really cunning." He had his eyes on his young wife at such a young age. He made her fair and plump. Then, like a fox, he took Xiao Qi into his fox nest. Mama Sheng was touched. She smiled. "Chi-Chi is the most beautiful bride I've ever seen." As for Xing Xiao. Chapter 257. Then I will allow you to look at me for a while. Mu Chichi smiled brightly. Xing Xiao subconsciously held Mu Chichi's hand tightly and led her to the white car. Then they set off for the banquet hall. Because here they were about to complete the first major event in their lives, their engagement. Then the Shin family arrived at the hotel where the engagement ceremony was going to be held. It was on the lawn behind the hotel. Su Zipei was supposed to go with the Shin family. But she felt a pain in her stomach before she went out. Lu Wenhua was so scared that he sent her to the hospital for a checkup. The guests arrived one after another. But Mu Chichi was a stranger to them. She only followed the man beside her. At the same time, Shin Rui was dressing up in front of the mirror. It was Mu Chichi's engagement ceremony. As her cousin, should she attend it? She had nowhere to vent her anger. She wanted Mu Chichi to feel embarrassed even if she was going to die. At the engagement ceremony, Mama Sheng and fourth sister returned to the hotel early to welcome the guests. However, Grandpa Sheng did not show up. At that moment, both of them knew that the old urchin was purposely not attending his grandson's engagement ceremony. It was all because Xing Xiao had caused a scene at Xing Mansion last night. When people asked about Grandpa Sheng, Mama Sheng could only tell them that Grandpa Sheng was not feeling well and would only come after a short rest. Xing Xiao was the crown prince of Huang Yao. He was his favorite grandson. How could he not attend Xing Zhao's engagement ceremony? A discerning person could see the crux of the matter. Perhaps the old man did not like the little bride. But when the Shin family heard about it, they would feel uncomfortable. "Xiao Qin, what's wrong with Grandpa Sheng? Is he not feeling well?" Grandpa Sheng asked Mama Sheng. "There are so many guests today. If Grandpa Sheng does not show up, How can he meet the guests 7 days later? Grandpa Shin, Dad will be here soon. Don't worry. Mama Xing answered Grandpa Shin. Today is Xing Xiao and Muqiqi's big day. As their grandfather, of course he cannot be absent. Grandpa Shin did not look good. Of course it was because he had heard some bad rumors. So he asked about it. If he did not agree to their engagement ceremony, he should have expressed his attitude right from the beginning. But after he agreed to it, he pretended to be polite. What was going on? The two families had been friends for so many years. Were they going to fall out over such a small matter? Mama Xing was very calm because Xing Xiao had said that Grandpa Xing would definitely attend. She believed in her son. Don't worry, old Shin. Grandpa Shin took a deep breath and continued to greet his comrades and guests. There were many important people who came today. They all wanted to make Muqiqi more confident after she married into the Xing family. At that moment, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. However, Grandpa Xing was nowhere to be seen at the venue. The guests at the banquet called Xing Minghui and told her about it. Xing Minghui was quite proud of herself. Although Grandpa loves Xing Xiao the most, I am still a member of the Xing family. Yesterday Xing Xiao treated me like that because of an outsider. Of course Grandpa would show his attitude. Now everyone is saying that the old man didn't appear because he's not satisfied with this little bride. That's how it should be. Help me add more stories. I just want to know how the Shin family is going to show their faces today. Xing Minghui was sitting in the living room of the Xing family's mansion. She was talking on the phone and smirking. Don't worry, it's just a small matter. There were so many people at the venue. Moreover, Muqiqi was a controversial person. It was very easy to add some spice to the story. Soon, Xing Xiao brought Muqiqi to the entrance of the hotel. But before they entered the venue, Mama Xing secretly told Xing Xiao, "Your grandfather still hasn't appeared until now." "He will appear," Xing Xiao said. Then he lowered his head and looked at Muqiqi. "Are you ready to go in? My little wife." "Of course, my future husband." Muqiqi looked at Xing Xiao with determination. She held his arm tightly. Then Xing Xiao brought Muqiqi into the venue. At that moment, hundreds of people screamed. White balloons and flowers were flying all over the place. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was accompanied by such a young bride. Naturally, the cheers of the people at the venue were even louder. Muqiqi held her head high. She didn't panic at all. She stuck close to Xing Xiao. Because she knew that at this moment, Xing Xiao was the only person she could rely on. The two of them walked through the arched door filled with white flowers. Then they reached the stage. The engagement ceremony would be held at 10:48 in the morning. But even then, Grandpa Xing still didn't show up. The guests rushed forward to take photos with the two of them. Of course, there was a lot of gossip among the guests. Even the head of the Xing family didn't show up. No matter how grand the engagement ceremony is, it won't be acknowledged by others. This little bride of the Xing family is amazing. I heard that she was adopted by the crown prince. Then she climbed into his bed. It's so good to be young. You can do whatever you want with your body. If she didn't do it, how could there be such a good thing today? You guys don't be so jealous. She is the daughter of the Shin family. It's ridiculous because she is the daughter of the Shin family. According to seniority, the crown prince is the uncle of this little bride. How can an uncle and a niece have such good cultivation? The gossip came one after another. The Shin family couldn't stand it anymore. It even involved Shin Jianchuan. Hey, do you see the man in the wheelchair? That is the eldest young master of the Shin family who could wake up after 10 years in a vegetative state. He is the biological father of the little bride. Speaking of which, it's even more interesting. They are twins of the same mother but different fathers. I don't know how promiscuous they are. But the Shin family has a military background. Those who are wearing military uniforms are not Grandpa Sheng's comrades. Unfortunately, these words were heard by Lin Mu, and who was squeezed in the crowd. He still remembered Lu Qianqian's instruction. If someone was to cause trouble for Muqiqi at the engagement ceremony, he must help them to make a name for themselves. So Lin Mu walked to the two beauties with champagne in his hand. Why are you talking so much when you are attending an engagement ceremony? Even if Muqiqi doesn't get Grandpa Sheng's approval, it won't be your turn. The two ladies looked at Lin Mu, and then took a few steps back. Let's go. He is the young master of the Lin family. And also a man not to be trifled with. On the stage, Muqiqi and Xing Xiao were preparing for the ceremony. But below the stage these people were gossiping. That was why Lu Qianqian was not willing to appear. Otherwise it would be a good show. Lin Mu sneered. He suddenly sighed at the ruthlessness of the older generation. Whether it was his grandfather or the old man of the Sheng family, they did not have any human feelings in their hearts. Even the crown prince could not force Grandpa Sheng to attend the ceremony. Xing Xiao stood on the stage. Of course, he knew what the people below the stage were thinking, because he did not see Grandpa Sheng. But at this moment, a helicopter descended from the sky and landed on the lawn. Then a young foreign man came down from the helicopter. He had bodyguards with him, and the bodyguards were carrying real guns. Chapter 258. Who is that? I think I've seen him on the news before. He's a prince from a Nordic country. Yes. I heard that the crown prince personally invited him to attend his engagement ceremony. You can see how much he values Muchichi. It's worth it to be able to see the elegance of a Nordic prince. It seems that the little bride has a very high status in the crown prince's heart. Otherwise he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. The guests were instantly envious of Muchichi when they saw the arrival of such an important guest. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao and Muchichi went to welcome them personally. Oh, this bride is so beautiful. Xiao, you're really impressed. The guest glanced at Muchichi and gave Xing Xiao a thumbs up. Charlie, thank you for coming. Xing Xiao had already prepared a throne to welcome the guest. Of course, the media took photos like crazy and reported the whole thing. Only then did Grandpa Xing realize that his good grandson had prepared such a card. Even the prince of another country came, but he, as his grandfather, did not show up. How would it look if the news got out? At this moment, the rumors about Muchichi among the guests lessened a lot. Grandpa Xing was quite satisfied. It did not matter if Grandpa Xing came or not. Anyway, there was already a guest coming. Grandpa Xing was sulking at home. In the end, he asked the driver to prepare the car. He wanted to go to the engagement ceremony. Xing Minghui watched Grandpa Xing leave. She stomped her feet at home. She did not expect that her grandfather still wanted to go and support that little girl of unknown origin. But at the engagement ceremony, Xing Xiao did not want to wait for his grandfather at all. When it was 10:48, the MC took his position. The guests also took their seats. The atmosphere became quiet. Xing Xiao led Muchichi to the white floral carpet. They walked all the way to the stage. He held his little wife's hand and walked with determination. At this time, Grandpa Xing arrived late. He walked into the hall with his walking stick and greeted everyone. I'm sorry. I'm late because I'm not feeling well. Father, sit here. Mama Xing guided Grandpa Xing to Grandpa Xing's side. Grandpa Xing is here. Then this little granddaughter-in-law, he admitted it, right? When the guests saw Grandpa Xing, they understood his attitude. His appearance was equivalent to admitting Muchichi's identity. She was the little bride of the Sheng family. No one could doubt her. Xing Xiao stood on the podium and watched his grandfather. The battle of wits and courage between grandfather and grandson would probably start today. Now, I hereby announce that the engagement ceremony between Mr. Xing Xiao and Miss Muchichi begins. Newlyweds, please hold hands and face each other. Today, under the witness of our family and friends, I will host the engagement ceremony for the two newlyweds. I would also like to congratulate the two newlyweds. After getting to know each other and falling in love, we are ready to tie the knot and confirm each other's future marriage partners. After a long oath, the MC suddenly asked the guests present, friends and relatives of both sides, is there anyone who objects to the new couple? No one answered. Although Old Sheng's expression was not good and he did not like Muchichi, he would not go back on his word since he had promised it himself. Alright, then I hope that in the coming days, the newlyweds can hold hands and move forward together and enter the marriage hall as soon as possible. Let's invite the newlyweds to exchange their engagement tokens. At this time, fourth sister brought a ring box with Xing Xiao and Muchichi's engagement rings in it. This was the exclusive engagement ring for every descendant of Huang Yao. The names of the newlyweds would be engraved on it. Xing Xiao took out the ring from the box and raised Muchichi's left hand solemnly. After putting the ring on her finger, he put it on his lips and kissed it gently. And Muchichi also took out the ring and carefully put it on Xing Xiao's finger. Seeing the sparkling diamond rings under the sun, Xing Xiao put his arms around Muchichi's waist and kissed her lips in front of everyone. The guests suddenly became excited. The MC also smiled and said, "Congratulations to the newlyweds. The engagement ceremony has ended successfully. Next we will have a wonderful ball. Guests, please enjoy the romantic moment." The engagement ceremony went very smoothly, thanks to Charlie helping Xing Xiao at the scene. Grandpa Xing did not play any tricks. He sat on the chair willingly. However, old Master Xin was very unhappy beside him. Grandpa Xing, we have been friends for decades. What's going on today? Grandpa Shen, what are you thinking? I'm just not feeling well. Mu Qiqi is my granddaughter-in-law. I'm looking forward to her arrival. I don't think you're looking forward to it. Grandpa Shen snorted and stood up. I'll go and greet my guests. Grandpa Sheng was unwilling, but he still maintained his smile in front of everyone. He had to be kind and friendly, especially in front of the prince of another country. According to Jianchuan's tradition, Mu Qiqi will dance with your father later. Don't be afraid, Mu Qiqi. Do you understand? After the ceremony, Mama Sheng walked to Mu Qiqi and reminded her carefully, Grandpa Sheng will not cause you trouble on such an occasion. He can't afford to lose his face. Mom, I understand. Mu Qiqi nodded. Meanwhile, Xing Xiao looked at Papa Sheng disdainfully. He reached out his hand to Mu Qiqi. Come on, Mu Qiqi. Xing Xiao did not want to follow the rules, but Mama Sheng reminded him not to be stubborn. Mu Qiqi was not a porcelain doll. Mu Qiqi comforted Xing Xiao with her eyes. Then she gave her hand to Papa Sheng. But Xing Xiao did not want his father's hand to touch Mu Qiqi. So he put his mother's hand in Papa Sheng's. You dance with your woman. I'll dance with my woman. Then he led Mu Qiqi to the middle of the dance floor. Why are you so narrow-minded? There are some things that I just can't accept. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and whispered into her ear. Don't be in a hurry to take off your gown tonight. Why? You'll know at night. Xing Xiao hugged his little one and danced on the dance floor. It seemed to be the first time they danced together. Mu Qiqi was obviously not familiar with the steps. Ever since she learned how to dance, she rarely danced. But it did not affect their soul connection. Chapter 259. Although Grandpa Sheng was not happy about it, he had made a lot of friends in the business world through the engagement ceremony. Moreover, he could have a relationship with the Prince of Northern Europe. It was beneficial for Huang Yao to expand its territory. Because of that, he could tolerate Mu Qiqi for the time being. Soon, the engagement cake was brought to the table. Xing Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the cake. Both of them took a knife and cut open the big cake. The guests applauded thunderously. At this time, someone walked out from the crowd with a confident smile. She looked at Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi and said, I'm sorry, Qiqi. I'm late. The Shins were shocked when they saw her. Mama Sheng frowned. Perhaps it was because Xin Rui was a member of the Shin family. So, the security guards did not stop her. But she had been chased out of the Shin family a long time ago. Why did she appear here? I forgot to introduce myself. Perhaps many of you know me. I'm the eldest daughter of the Shin family. My name is Xin Rui. I'm also the cousin of the bride, Mu Qiqi. Xin Rui said with a smile. Suddenly, her facial expression changed. She pointed at Mu Qiqi and said, But do you know? I was chased out of the family by this cousin of mine. A granddaughter with an unknown background and an unattractive background has chased me, a dignified young lady, out of the door. How ironic. Most importantly, she knew that I liked Uncle Xiao. But she did not tell me about her relationship with Uncle Xiao. She treated me like a monkey. She played me like a fool. Mu Qiqi, tell me in front of everyone today. Are you trying so hard to marry into the Sheng family? Xin Rui screamed hysterically. Mu Qiqi's face darkened. You're a very bold intruder. I could only watch as you devour everything around me. You're good. Now you've gotten what you wanted. Mu Qiqi. After listening to what Xin Rui said, all the guests looked at each other. Perhaps, all of them were waiting for a good show because of Mu Qiqi's birth. Grandpa Shin was furious when he saw that. He asked Huang Yu to drag her away. Second aunt, I know you're going to stop me. But I'm not afraid. Since I'm already here, I'm prepared to lose my reputation. But I'm going to drag Mu Qiqi to hell with me. Dear guest, you probably don't know how powerful my little cousin is. From the Mu family all the way to the Shin family, she defeated all her opponents one after another. Now she has become successful and is married to the crown prince. Mu Qiqi, it must be hard for you to be exposed, right? Xin Rui pushed Huang Yu away and laughed loudly. Rui, save your grandpa's reputation. Rui, of my reputation. Xin Rui asked Huang Yu. I don't believe that the Sheng family will like this 18-year-old bride. I'm sure that the Sheng family would rather choose me than Mu Qiqi if they have a choice. It was supposed to be a beautiful engagement ceremony. But because of Xin Rui's appearance, it became a scene of a fight between the sisters. But Xin Rui appeared. She came out to intensify the conflict. She wanted to vent her anger in front of everyone. Mama Xing went forward and wanted to say something. But Mu Qiqi stopped her. She did not let Xing Xiao speak. She walked to Xin Rui and gave her a tight slap. I don't care what you say about me. But you don't care about Grandpa's health. You've ruined the reputation of the Shin family. I want to wake you up with this slap. You. Shinroi covered her face. She was furious. Shinroi, everyone can tell right from wrong. Everyone has their own bottom line. They know whether their choice is good or bad. Do you think I'm so powerful that I can influence everyone's decision? You probably don't know that the one who influenced their decision was you, not me. The one who made grandfather sad and disappointed was you. The one who made grandfather give up on your family was also you. If you really have the self-awareness of being the Shin family's young lady, at this moment, you wouldn't be standing here pointing at my nose and venting your dissatisfaction. Because of you, the Shin family will lose face. Xiao Xiao and I are engaged today. You came to make a scene. I don't mind. It's not because I'm generous. It's because I have to tell all the guests that I'm different from you. You're selfish. You can't bear the responsibility of the Shin family. So, I'll bear the responsibility. I used to be sincere to you. Do you dare to say that I didn't treat you well when I came back from abroad? Shinroi questioned Muchichi. Including drugging me? Muchichi asked Shinroi. I found out where you got the medicine from during the birthday banquet. If you're sincere to me, tell me why did you apply the medicine on me? Shinroi asked. Shinroi put away her sharp gaze and looked away. I think all the guests here are mocking me because of my birth, aren't they? They can tease me at any time, no matter what the occasion is. Muchichi suddenly let it go. She decided to tell the truth. But I don't hate my birth at all. Muchichi looked at Shinjianchuan. Her voice was penetrating. Because I have no choice. I only know that my mother gave birth to me after carrying me for 10 months. She experienced pain and danger too. She's as great as any other mother. My father was in a vegetative state for many years. People said that he was aggressive. But did any of you know that he was injured by someone? That's why he was bedridden for more than 10 years. As for me, do all of you think that your birth is nobler than mine? And you want to trample on me because of that nobility? But I won't allow you to trample on me. My birth may be controversial, but the education I received is not lesser than any of you. I know what's right and what's wrong. I'm an independent and complete person. As a basic human being, it's basic to respect others. It's human nature to make things difficult for others. Shinroi, I've torn apart what you said to the guests today. I don't think you have any other weapon to hurt me, right? I, Muchichi, am standing here. I'm Xing Zhao's fiancée. I'm the granddaughter of the Shin family. I used to be a member of the Mu family. But I don't steal or rob. I've never done evil to anyone. I live my life openly. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead. Chapter 260. Shinroi, are you trying to drag me down to hell? But I don't blame myself. My heart isn't made to contain a resentful villain like you. I want to cherish the people I care about and protect the people I value. As for lovers, relatives, friends, you don't have any of these, do you? At that moment, the 18-year-old Muchichi showed her tenacity and softness as a woman. She never abandoned her family background. She was neither humble nor arrogant. Even when she was being mocked, she was not afraid at all. These words were sonorous and forceful. All the guests were convinced by her. There was a rumor that this girl became famous during the birthday banquet of the Lin family. But they did not expect that she was so powerful. After that, Muchichi turned around and looked at Grandpa Shin. She said to him, Grandpa, please don't blame Shinroi. It's the biggest punishment for her to see me standing here with a strong will. I don't think I'm a disgrace. Because I'm an upright person. Grandpa Shin got up from his chair and walked toward Muchichi. He hugged his granddaughter gently. I'm old now. But after hearing what you said just now, I feel that you're the hope of the Shin family. Today is your big day. I have nothing else to give you. I just want to tell you that I'll always stand behind you. If anyone dares to mock my granddaughter, you should ask for the medal in my hand first. You only remember the ridiculous things that happened in the Shin family. But you don't remember how many lives I've saved. As for Shinroi, I'll ask the security guards to take her away now. She's not a member of the Shin family. We don't have such a cruel and unscrupulous person. When Grandpa Shin finished speaking, Lin Mu and took the lead to applaud. He was clapping from the bottom of his heart. He seemed to understand why Muchichi could stand out from so many rich young ladies and gain Xing Zhao's favor. It was because she was broad-minded even though she was only 18 years old. She had a vision and a mind. She was not the kind of person who would do anything for money. She was a generous person. Such a person with a soul would naturally be recognized and loved by others. Even the Nordic prince gave her a thumbs up. She's a respectable girl. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and watched as the little one conquered the guests like an orator. He suddenly sighed inwardly. The timid little one from before seemed to have disappeared just like that. Soon Shinrui was kicked out in front of the guests. Then the MC raised his glass to warm up the atmosphere. To our generous bride-to-be, everyone raise your hands, cheers. Old Sheng glanced at the atmosphere. It was fortunate that Mu Qiqi had redeemed the situation, or the Sheng family would have been utterly humiliated. The little one seemed to have a temper, and he knew very well that it was very similar to his grandson, Xing Xiao. If he wasn't trained, he wouldn't believe it at all. Xing Xiao did not say a word from start to end. Later, someone asked, "Why didn't you stand up for your wife when she was being bullied just now?" "I survived." Xing Xiao answered with a smile. "I trained her myself. She's not a girl who needs a man's protection. She has self-esteem and she has her own self. I'm fascinated by her." Mu Qiqi seemed to be tracked by a tracking device in the crowd. Xing Xiao's eyes were fixed on her all the time. It seemed that he had no intention of moving his eyes away. Soon, it was lunchtime for the engagement ceremony. Mu Qiqi drank some red wine during the banquet. She was a little drunk. Mama Xing saw that and quickly said to Xing Xiao, "Bring Mu Qiqi upstairs to rest. The hotel has specially prepared a new room for you." "Mom, I'll leave the guests to you." Then Xing Xiao carried Mu Qiqi in his arms. Mu Qiqi was a little dizzy. She went into the room and lay on the bed with a red face. Xing Xiao lifted her chin when he saw that. He looked at her with intoxicated eyes. "Little one, Mu Qiqi moaned. "You're my fiancée now." Then Xing Xiao carried Mu Qiqi up from the bed and kissed her passionately. Mu Qiqi responded instinctively. Soon her body went limp. Downstairs, the guests were singing and dancing. It was very lively. In the wedding room, Xing Xiao liked the gown that Mu Qiqi was wearing very much. Even though he was kissing her, he did not want to take it off for her. "I want you." "The gown will be ruined," Mu Qiqi said with her eyes blurred. Xing Xiao could not hold it anymore. He pushed the gown to her upper body. He did not care about this little one who was drunk. He just wanted to melt into her blood and bones. He had long wanted to hold such a beautiful little thing in his arms and dote on her. Downstairs, fourth sister probably knew that her brother would not come downstairs. So, she greeted the Nordic prince on his behalf. The two of them were conversing in English. They were having a good time. Grandpa Sheng could not help but have some thoughts when he saw that. Anyway, fourth sister had not been in a relationship for many years. If she could marry a princess, it would be a good choice. It would help Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Perhaps it was because Grandpa Sheng had been expanding his territory for half of his life. So, even when he was old, he would not forget to find a chance for Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Look at those two. They are having a good conversation. Mama Sheng understood what Grandpa Sheng meant. She smiled. If this is fourth sister's fate, we will be happy to see it happen. Jing Yun was not far away. When he saw the scene, he walked away quietly. Many years ago, he could not stop that man from hurting fourth sister. Now, he did not have the status to stop fourth sister from dating another man. But he would feel heartache when he saw fourth sister with another man. But he could not do anything about it. He was loyal to the Sheng family. He knew very well that even if the end of the world came, Grandpa Sheng would not allow him to be with fourth sister. And fourth miss didn't like him either. He was just an assistant. On the other hand, Lin Mu and had recorded the video of the engagement ceremony. He sent it to Lu Qianqian. "Just take it that you were here." Lu Qianqian watched the video and nodded. "My seventh sister is so beautiful and powerful. From now on, she will be the crown princess. She will be very happy after marrying into the Sheng family." "I don't think so. The Sheng family doesn't like her." Lin Mu and could see it clearly. Of course, with the crown prince around, she will not be at a disadvantage. You, seventh sister, are not a person who will be at a disadvantage. Seeing Grandpa Sheng picking on you, I really want to see him slap his face one day. Because I realize that Qiqi is quite liked by the old man. Of course. Lu Qianqian snorted proudly. I did not expect that she would really marry into the Sheng family just like that. Also, I noticed something interesting just now. What is it? Lu Qianqian asked quickly. Didn't you notice that Jing Yun was very strange in the video? Why are you paying attention to the crown prince's assistant? Lu Qianqian went to watch the video. Chapter 261. Lu Qianqian felt that it made sense. So, she replayed the video a few times. In the end, she found out that Jing Yun was looking at something when he looked sad. Why didn't you record the whole video? If I want to know where he was looking at, I can just go to the hotel and get the CCTV footage. But I don't think it's my business. Lin Mu, and did not like to dig up other people's secrets. You're right. Lu Qianqian could feel how much Jing Yun wanted to hide everything. You can have fun. I have seen how beautiful Chi-Chi is. I'm satisfied. Where are you this afternoon? Let me accompany you. Lin Mu, and suddenly had an idea. Grandpa Xing is drunk today. He should not notice me. I am being tortured by my coach. Lu Qianqian snorted. I am practicing fencing. Tell me the address. I will come over now. Lin Mu, and sneaked away from the engagement ceremony when Grandpa Sheng was dozing off. There were so many beautiful women there. He did not want to talk to them. He would rather smell Lu Qianqian's sweat. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Xing Xiao walked out of the new house energetically. He took over the task from fourth sister and received his distinguished guest personally. When he saw Charlie and fourth sister chatting happily, Xing Xiao could not help but ask Charlie, "Do you like Asian women? Your sister is a very beautiful woman. Do you want to go further?" Charlie shrugged and patted Xing Xiao's shoulder. I'm going back to China. I hope that the next time I see you will be at your wedding ceremony. The little bride is very cute. If you really want to, you can contact me anytime. Xing Xiao sent him to the helicopter and shook his hand. It is so interesting to know you. I'm already looking forward to our next meeting. Xing Xiao smiled and waved at him. If the Nordic prince really liked fourth sister, it would be a good marriage. So, when Charlie left, Xing Xiao asked fourth sister, "Are you interested in the princess of Nordic Europe?" Fourth sister patted the back of his hand. Not interested. I thought that you and Charlie are going to have a romantic relationship. Are you willing to let your sister marry so far away? Xing Xiao shrugged. A smile appeared on his handsome face. Do you think that Grandpa Xing did not see what happened just now? Now, I'm afraid he's going to make this his next target. I did it for you. Fourth sister glared at Xing Xiao. Where's Chi-Chi? He's still sleeping. Plus the old man is here. Do you think he'll tell you about Charlie? Xing Xiao pointed at a spot not far away with his chin. Fourth sister followed his line of sight and saw that Grandpa Sheng was indeed looking at her. Minglan, come here. Fourth sister looked at Xing Xiao helplessly. Then she followed Grandpa Sheng to a place where they could talk. Because not only did Grandpa Sheng treat this matter seriously, but he also put it on the agenda. I will ask someone to find out about the prince's information. Eighth brother, you should be prepared to be the princess. Grandpa, are you really willing to let me marry far away? There's nothing wrong with that. You're not young anymore. As a member of the Sheng family, fourth sister knew that she could not decide her own marriage. Although Xing Xiao could get engaged to Mu Chichi now, it was still unknown whether Mu Chichi could marry into the Sheng family in the end. Resist? That would be like falling into the depths of hell. Do you think you'll be fine if you don't want the wealth of the Sheng family? It also means that you can only accept your fate and be suppressed by the Sheng family for the rest of your life. Fourth sister did not say anything. But she was unhappy. Her eyes turned red. Jingyun felt sorry for her. He held the handkerchief in his hand. But he did not know how to give it to fourth sister. Xing Xiao could tell that his fourth sister clearly did not mean it that way. That was why he would not mention it to Charlie. Otherwise Grandpa Xing would never let it go. Grandpa Xing had been controlling others all his life. But he could not control Xing Xiao. Soon Xing Xiao went to the new room and let his little one get up. On the way he received a call from Su Zipei. The doctor had asked her to rest in bed. So she could not come to the hotel. Xing Xiao comforted her. He had recorded the ceremony today. He would send it to her later. It would fulfill one of her wishes. In the room, Mu Chichi was sleeping soundly on the bed with her arms exposed. Xing Xiao took her out of the blanket and helped her put on the dress. It's almost time for the banquet. I'll ask someone to touch up your makeup. It's all your fault. Mu Chichi punched Xing Xiao's chest. He knew that it was such an important day. But he insisted on it. He could not even wait for the night. If you don't want to walk, I can carry you the whole time. Mu Chichi became energetic when she heard that. She quickly got up. I want to wash my face and touch up my makeup. I have my ways to deal with you. Xing Xiao smiled and pinched Mu Chichi's nose. Then he got up and asked the makeup artist to enter the room. At the same time, fourth sister was in a bad mood after Grandpa Xing ruined her marriage. She was drinking alone in the room. Jingyun knew that. He went to the door and knocked on it. Miss Minglan, fourth sister opened the door after a long time. She smiled when she saw Jing Yun. "Jing Yun, come in." "I won't come in," said Jing Yun. He did not want others to misunderstand fourth sister. Women shouldn't drink too much. It's bad for their health. "Who cares?" Fourth sister laughed at herself. "You can go now. I'll come out soon." "Okay." After that, Jing Yun closed the door. But he did not leave. A drunk woman in the hotel was the most dangerous. So, he just stood in front of fourth sister's door. He looked so quiet. It was because he did not know how to help fourth sister. And he could not stop her from marrying anyone. Sometimes, he wished that he had the courage of his young master. He could do whatever he wanted. But he knew that it would only hurt more people. About 40 minutes later, fourth sister opened the door. She frowned when she saw Jing Yun still standing there. "Why are you still here?" "I'm worried. There are so many guests in the hotel. And you are the young lady of the Sheng family. So it's natural for me to guard you." Fourth sister took a deep breath and nodded. "I look terrible, don't I?" "Not really. You look beautiful." Fourth sister suddenly blushed. But she still walked in front of Jing Yun. When Jing Yun saw that she had reached a safe place, he stopped following her. It was because he would be discovered easily. When fourth sister found out that Jing Yun was so considerate, she was touched. The child she brought back was so kind. Chapter 262. During the banquet, the guests asked about the exact date of their wedding, but old Xing simply smiled and avoided the topic, answering, "Mu Qi is still young. She would naturally fall when the time is right. Just let nature take its course." At that moment, Mu Qiqi hated herself for being so young that she could not truly be Xiao Xiao's wife. Xing Xiao held Mu Qiqi's hand under the table and comforted her. It was fine to let the old man's words go in one ear and out the other. There was no need to take every word to heart. Mu Qiqi smiled and looked at him. She was disappointed, but she was not afraid. After the banquet, the guests left. The Shen family bid farewell to the Sheng family too. Shen Jianchuan had been out for a whole day and should be returning to the hospital. Mu Qiqi walked to Shen Jianchuan and held his hand. "Xiao Qi is still your daughter. It will not change in this life." "Silly child." Shen Jianchuan was reluctant to part with her. But he did not show his sadness because he did not want to burden Mu Qiqi. Grandpa Shen pushed Shen Jianchuan away. Soon, the whole family disappeared from the entrance of the hotel. "You must be tired today. Go back and rest. As for Mu Qiqi, come back to the Sheng family some other day. I have something to tell you." Grandpa Sheng said to Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi before he left. Mu Qiqi nodded immediately. "Of course. Take care, Grandpa. Let's go back to Jingting." Xing Xiao saw that everyone had left and brought his wife home. But when they reached home, Xing Xiao pressed Mu Qiqi on the passenger seat before they got out of the car. "Do you know how much you have teased me today? Did you not have enough for the afternoon?" Mu Qiqi looked at him helplessly. How could this man be so strong? "Do you think I can?" With that, Xing Xiao got out of the car and carried Mu Qiqi out of the passenger seat. Then they walked to the bedroom. When they were lying on the bed, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi interlocked their fingers. "Since we are engaged, shouldn't we change the way we address each other?" Mu Qiqi blushed and felt hot. "Then, what do you want me to call you? What do you think?" Xing Xiao hooked her chin and looked into her eyes seriously. "If it weren't for the fact that you're only 18 years old, you would already be my wife. And what do wives usually call their husbands?" Those hands appeared to be filled with magic, leaving her unable to think and at his mercy. "Xiao Xiao, wrong name." Xing Xiao smiled playfully and kissed her frivolously. "Say it again." Xing Xiao's eyes darkened. "Hubby." Mu Qiqi felt very uncomfortable, but she couldn't resist the man's teasing because he was an addictive drug. "Remember, I'm your husband, your husband." With that, the two of them joined together. Mu Qiqi let out a satisfied sigh. She had never thought that she would get married at 18. Moreover, the man was Xing Xiao. From the day she fell in love with him, Mu Qiqi felt that she had fallen in love with someone she shouldn't have. She could only live in hell for the rest of her life. But she dragged him down with her. Now she really couldn't run away anymore. But now that the two of them had already passed their wedding night, could they still be so sentimental when they really got married? That night was both romantic and cruel. To the newlyweds it was a happy night. But to Xing Minglan she felt like she was being grilled on the grill. Not only did Grandpa Xing tell her about it during the engagement ceremony, he even brought it up in front of the whole family when he got home. The Shengs were very envious. They felt that Grandpa Sheng had found a good marriage for her. But to her, Grandpa Sheng's cruelty was equivalent to killing her heart. Jing Yun heard about Grandpa Sheng's arrangement outside the living room. He was not feeling better than Xing Minglan. He used to fantasize about who Miss Minglan would marry, but he never thought that she would marry so far away. After Xing Minglan returned to her room, she called Xing Xiao immediately, although she knew that she shouldn't disturb Xing Xiao at this moment. At the same time in Jingting, when Xing Xiao entered the bathroom with his little one, he received Xing Minglan's call. Fourth sister? I don't want to get married to Northern Europe, but Grandpa has taken it seriously. If you can think of a way to make the Northern Europeans reject him, I will be very grateful. It's not easy for a prince to get married. Even if Grandpa is powerful, he can't reach to Northern Europe. Don't worry, fourth sister. What's the use of me not worrying? Today is the Northern European prince. What about tomorrow? Xing Minglan sounded depressed. Sometimes it's too tiring to be a Xing. If you really don't want Grandpa to control your marriage, we can negotiate. But for now, you should help me deal with Charlie. After hanging up, Xing Xiao immediately called Northern Europe. He was sure that the Northern Europeans did not want to marry an Asian woman as their princess. They would not choose an Asian woman as their princess. What's wrong, fourth sister? Mu Qiqi asked when she saw Xing Xiao calling her twice. Grandpa wants to control fourth sister's marriage. But fourth sister doesn't agree. Little one, you should call fourth sister more often when you have time. Sometimes the Sheng family is like a prison. Mu Qiqi nodded. She pulled Xing Xiao to kneel down and kissed him deeply on the lips. Call me that again before you sleep? Hubby, Xing Xiao was satisfied. Then he lay in the bathtub with Mu Qiqi to relieve his fatigue. But Xing Xiao did not expect that the first thing Jing Yun did when he saw him the next day was to beg him. Miss Minglan seems to be confused. Young master, can you help her? Xing Xiao looked at Jing Yun. He looked at him from head to toe. This is the first time you asked me for help because of someone else. Miss Minglan saved me, is that so? Jing Yun, you should know how Cheer and I got here. She has used this excuse of yours many times. Xing Xiao chuckled. But it's true. Jing Yun looked into Xing Xiao's eyes. The master and the servant just stared at each other. After a while, Xing Xiao nodded. She told me last night that the Northern Europeans have no such plans. You don't have to worry. But, Jing Yun, you should know who controls fourth sister's fate. If it's not the Northern European prince today, it could be an American tycoon tomorrow. That has nothing to do with me. Jing Yun answered honestly. He could not control it. Chapter 263. There was still room for negotiation. It was not a dead end yet. But Grandpa Sheng asked Xing Minglan to go to Northern Europe with him for a few days. Even if Xing Xiao had received the news, Grandpa Sheng would try his best to persuade Xing Minglan again. Moreover, Xing Xiao was in contact with Charlie, while Grandpa Sheng was in contact with the nobles in Northern Europe. So, he thought that as long as Charlie was not married, there was still room for negotiation. Although Xing Minglan was not anxious, she had completely given up on Grandpa Sheng. Meanwhile, Xing Minghui said sarcastically, I did not expect that Grandpa wants to marry fourth sister to a place so far away. How can we be reunited in the future? It is me today and it will be you tomorrow. No one can run away. Xing Minglan did not bother to talk to her. She left after saying that. Xing Minghui, on the other hand, did not look too good. Because Xing Minglan was right. If she could not find someone she liked in the limited time, she would have to live under Grandpa Sheng's control for the rest of her life. Seeing Xing Minglan's miserable state, Xing Minglan could not just sit back and watch. After Xing Xiao knew about it, he told Xing Minglan not to worry. Even if they went to Northern Europe, there would not be too many changes. The royal family of Northern Europe would definitely not want an Asian woman. But Xing Minglan felt sad even if she was going there as a guest. At night, she could only drink at home. When Jing Yun came home from Huangyao and heard about it, he felt sad. But there was nothing he could do. He could only stay in front of Xing Minglan's room in the middle of the night. Young master had said that it would not happen. He trusted Xing Xiao. But it was another matter if fourth sister was sad. Late at night, Xing Xiao returned home and told Mu Qiqi about Grandpa Sheng bringing fourth sister to Northern Europe. Mu Qiqi felt helpless when she heard about it. It's not like the Sheng family has a throne to inherit. Why would Grandpa be so stubborn and interfere with his children's marriage? He only has a grand ambition in his heart. Xing Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi into his arms and hugged his little wife tightly. I've discovered something. What is it? That blockhead Jing Yun might like fourth sister. Xing Xiao said as he stroked Mu Qiqi's hair. This man never asks me for anything. But this morning he asked me to help fourth sister. Just based on that? Of course not. Jing Yun has been living under the Xing family's roof all these years, so he knows how to control his emotions better than anyone else. Sometimes he is as cold as a block of ice because he has accepted his fate. How many children did the Xing family have? None of the Xing family members ever smiled when they got married. But he never cared about anyone. Perhaps he owes fourth sister a favor? Xing Xiao smiled and shook his head again. You should be the one who understands Jing Yun the best. He wouldn't have come to me if he hadn't endured to the limit. Mu Qiqi remembered her crush on Xiao Xiao when she heard that, and couldn't help but pity him. You little thing, you guessed it right. What? There's really an impossible person hiding in Jing Yun's heart. Xing Xiao remembered what Mu Qiqi said back then. But Mu Qiqi could not laugh. If that's the case, the situation would be even worse. Let's not talk about whether Miss Minglan likes Jing Yun. No, I should say that regardless of whether Miss Minglan likes Jing Yun, the Xing family must not know Jing Yun's feelings. You don't want to help him? What's more important now is to help fourth sister out of her misery. No one could change Grandpa Sheng's mind. He could only play along for now. Kissing Mu Qiqi's forehead, Xing Xiao suddenly said, I'll ask Jing Yun to book a plane ticket to Northern Europe in the morning. We'll be one step ahead of Grandpa Sheng and end things. All right. Mu Qiqi nodded. So now hurry up. Hurry up for what? Mu Qiqi was puzzled. Hurry up for loving you for once. Mu Qiqi was speechless. That night, Xing Minglan couldn't sleep at all. In the middle of the night, she held a bottle of wine and stared blankly in the garden. And Jing Yun was the one who couldn't sleep with her. Thinking about how stressed she was, Jing Yun could only hate himself for not being able to do anything. He could only watch from afar, afraid that he would cause trouble for her. But his feet wouldn't listen to him. Even though he knew that one step forward could lead him to hell, Jing Yun still walked towards her. Fourth sister, drinking like this is bad for your health. Xing Minglan looked up and saw Jing Yun. She smiled. Why aren't you asleep? It's already past midnight. I still have some unfinished business. I came out to clear my head and saw you. Isn't Xing Xiao squeezing you too much? I'll talk to him another day. Are you really that unhappy? Jing Yun suddenly asked Xing Minglan. Xing Minglan took a deep breath and smiled mockingly. Sometimes I really envy Xing Xiao. He knew his limits from the start. Otherwise he wouldn't have to be manipulated by others. Happiness? In this family no one cares about happiness the most. Jing Yun, I'm not just envious of Xing Xiao. I'm envious of you. You're not a Sheng, so you don't have to be restrained by Grandpa. You're drunk. Jing Yun took the wine glass away from her hand. Are you going to deprive me of my last bit of freedom? Jing Yun looked at her, suddenly having a bold idea. Although Xing Xiao was already on the plane to Northern Europe, he still wanted to do it. What would you choose if I could help you leave the Sheng family? I can't escape. I can escape. Jing Yun told her confidently. I know the scope of Huang Yao's business and the blind spots. Why do you want to help me? You'll be dead if Grandpa finds out. Jing Yun said nothing. He did not answer. But his eyes revealed everything. Because I don't want to see you suffer. Jing Yun, I don't need to escape. I just need to get engaged and married and Grandpa won't be able to control me anymore. You have a point. Jing Yun forced a smile to hide his heartache. Idiot. Xing Minglan did not say anything else, but she seemed to have a plan in her mind. Instead of sitting and waiting for death, it was better to take the initiative. Moreover, there were suitable candidates in her contacts who could help. Still, it would take some time to plan. When the trip to Northern Europe was over, she would completely leave the Sheng family. Oh, I'm going to rest. Jing Yun knew that there was nothing he could do, and did not want to add to Xing Minglan's worries. Xing Minglan nodded. Go. Don't work so late next time. Okay. Jing Yun nodded obediently. Chapter 264. Jing Yun had hidden his feelings too well that Xing Minglan could not tell. But Xing Xiao saw through it. Xing Xiao went to Northern Europe and met Charlie. He told him about his family situation, and Charlie had already made up his mind to accept the royal family's arrangement and marry the daughter of a Northern European magnate. Thanks, Charlie. I just hope that there will be one less person in this world who is manipulated by their elders. As for Mu Qiqi, she invited fourth sister to Jing Ting for dinner after class. The new maid Aunt Wu was working. She was a good cook and was very kind. I really envy you. Xing Minglan looked at Jing Ting and said to Mu Qiqi, Xiao Qi, I always hope that I can meet a man like Xing Xiao who can free me from my shackles. Fourth sister, don't think too much since you are out. Just be happy in Jingting. Don't worry. Let me tell you a secret. Xiao Xiao went to Northern Europe last night. I didn't dote on him for nothing. Xing Minglan smiled. Then how are you going to solve this? You can't just drag it on like this. Grandpa might fancy a Northern European prince today, but he might fancy someone else in the future. Do you think that I have been doing nothing all these years? Xing Minglan sneered. If Grandpa keeps forcing me, I will start my own family. But, are you trying to say that I can't win against Huang Yao? How would I know if I haven't tried? Xing Minglan asked in return. If Xing Xiao could fight with Grandpa to the death, I can do the same. I'm just a body. If I can't live the life I want, I'd rather die. Xing Minglan said. Mu Qiqi could feel it very well. Xiao Xiao and I will support you. Xing Xiao values you as much as his own life. I don't dare to let you offend Grandpa. You should let me do something too. Otherwise, I will really become an 18-year-old bride. Mu Qiqi raised her glass and clinked glasses with Xing Minglan. I almost forgot that you also fought against fate. Xing Minglan drank as she chatted with Mu Qiqi. The two of them were like sisters and there was no distinction between them. Jing Yun stood by the door and listened to their conversation. For some reason he felt a little more relaxed. At least Miss Minglan was not waiting to die. Since Xing Minglan could not drive after drinking, Mu Qiqi asked Jing Yun to send her home. On the way home, Jing Yun suddenly said to the woman behind him, I can help you, Miss Minglan. I have first-hand information about Huang Yao. As long as you want to fight, I'll bear with Grandpa for the last time. Xing Minglan mumbled and fell asleep in Jing Yun's car. Meanwhile, Grandpa Xing soon received news from Northern Europe that Prince Charlie had announced that he was getting married. The old man didn't even have time to set off. Therefore, this matter could only be left unsettled. Grandpa Xing even consoled her afterward. I'll arrange a better marriage for you in the future. There was a hidden meaning in Xing Minglan's eyes. If there was a next time, she would definitely leave Huang Yao. On the morning of the third day, Xing Xiao returned from Northern Europe and successfully solved Xing Minglan's urgent problem. It was a worthwhile trip. When he returned, the little one was still sleeping soundly. Seeing that, Xing Xiao took off his clothes and lay down beside Mu Qiqi. The little one might have felt the familiar warmth and threw herself on him. Xing Xiao hugged the little one and breathed in the fragrance of her hair, relieving the fatigue all over his body. After a while, Mu Qiqi woke up from Xing Xiao's arms. She saw the man beside her and couldn't help kissing his forehead. You are seducing me? Xing Xiao opened his eyes suddenly and startled Mu Qiqi. How can kissing my forehead count? Mu Qiqi quickly got up. Is fourth sister's problem settled? Xing Xiao turned Mu Qiqi over and pressed her under his body. You are the one in danger now. Aunt Wu will wake me up later. Mu Qiqi looked at the bedroom door nervously. Sure enough, Aunt Wu came to Mu Qiqi's door a few minutes later. She didn't know that Xing Xiao had returned in the middle of the night. Young madam, it's time to go to school. Mu Qiqi was about to say something when Xing Xiao kissed her. Young madam? Aunt Wu, you can leave first. After a while, Xing Xiao's voice came from the gap of the door. Aunt Wu understood and left the room quietly. The young couple was really attached to each other, especially in the morning when they were full of energy. Save me some face in front of Aunt Wu. Mu Qiqi was helpless and bit the man's nose anxiously. Xing Xiao grabbed her hands and kissed them. We haven't seen each other for 3 days. Don't you miss me? To be precise, it was 1 day and 2 nights. This man liked to exaggerate. Xiao Xiao, call me hubby. There was no room for Mu Qiqi to speak. There was no room at all. When they cleaned up and went downstairs, the breakfast prepared by Aunt Wu was already cold. Your morning class is in the 3rd period. Do you think I don't know? Xing Xiao saw Mu Qiqi's dissatisfied face and immediately pinched her nose. I'm asking about your 4th sister. If I can't do it well, then don't count on others. Xing Xiao gave her the answer. The old man was happy for nothing. Grandpa called last night and asked us to go back for dinner tonight. On the day of the engagement, he told me that he wanted to talk to me alone. I can't run away today. Am I afraid of him? Xing Xiao said indifferently. I taught you. He should be used to my attitude towards him. So, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not afraid of him. I have you. At the very least, I have Dad and Grandpa. Then what are you worried about? I want to help 4th sister. Maybe in your eyes I'm courting death. Mu Qiqi answered Xing Xiao seriously. Actually, I want to help Jing Yun too. They don't need your help. Xing Xiao told her directly. Fourth sister is not as obedient as you think. Jing Yun is not as obedient as you think. What you need to do is to study hard and be a good forensic doctor. If you keep pestering me like this, I'll burn incense and pray to Buddha if I don't fail my subjects at the end of the semester. If you keep looking at me like this, I'll make sure you can't go to the third period in the morning. Xing Xiao suddenly smiled and threatened Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi quickly looked away and tried to stuff some breakfast into her mouth. This man was really a devil. Chapter 265. The people in school liked to call Mu Qiqi the little bride of the Sheng family. She was the object of envy for being able to win Xing Zhao's favor at the age of 18 or 19. In school there were posts and forums dedicated to her and Xing Zhao's current situation, as if the others could join the rich and fly up the branches like phoenixes just by looking at her. In the eyes of outsiders, Mu Qiqi was a very mysterious person. She did not interact with anyone in school, and would do whatever she wanted at all times. She was not interested in the things the girls discussed either. She would go home after school and would go to the dissection room or the lab after class. Even as Xing Zhao's fiancée, she was not materialistic or vulgar at all. That was what the girls admired about her. At that moment the bell rang. When Mu Qiqi put away her documents, she saw Xing Xiao leaning against the car outside the classroom. The classroom was in an uproar, but everyone knew who the man was here to pick up. Mu Qiqi walked out and Xing Xiao took her bag from her and threw it in the back seat. They got into the car at the same time and soon disappeared from the students' sight. Just watch. Those two won't last long. Since when did the Sheng family have a daughter-in-law who studies forensic science? But I think they are very loving. Someone was discussing the famous couple on the way to school. That's because you don't understand rich families. That said, Mu Qiqi is really professional. She is a girl, but she is not soft at all when it comes to physics and chemistry. Her professional skills are excellent. At present, Mu Qiqi was completely used to such discussions, and was also used to Xing Xiao appearing beneath a certain academic building whenever and wherever he wanted. Mu Qiqi could not help smiling at the thought. What are you smiling about? Xing Xiao asked Mu Qiqi with his right hand on the steering wheel and his left hand on the window. I'm smiling because you used to be so flamboyant in school, and now I'm being watched everywhere. Why don't people know about outstanding people? Xing Xiao was such a person. He was flamboyant because he was capable and never hid himself. He believed that capable people should enjoy the flowers and applause of the world. What was there to be afraid of? What was there to be afraid of? Soon their car drove into Xing Mansion. Xing Minglan and Mama Sheng were waiting at the door. When Mu Qiqi saw them, she could not help telling them, "You're my elders. You don't have to take care of me like this. It's only your second time here. Who else should I take care of if not you?" Xing Minglan smiled and turned to lead the way. When they arrived at the dining room, the elders of the Sheng family took their seats one after another. Mama Sheng thought that she might not be able to distinguish the uncles when she introduced them to Mu Qiqi that night. However, Mu Qiqi did not hesitate at all. She called out the order of the uncles without any prompting. Mama Sheng was a little surprised. This girl's memory was really good. "Qiqi, it's your second time here. Be casual." Old Xing showed his kind side. But the way Xing Minghui looked at Mu Qiqi was full of hatred. How could she eat with Mu Qiqi at the table? I heard that people who study forensic science have a rotten smell on them, and their hands touch a lot of unsightly things. Mu Qiqi, I'm a little disgusted with you sitting in front of me like that. I can't help it, I have a good imagination. Everyone could hear the unfriendliness in Xing Minghui's words. But it must be said that the Sheng family took this issue very seriously. After all, the thought of corpses and internal organs really made their stomachs uncomfortable. Mama Sheng could not help but want to say something. But Mu Qiqi spoke before she could. You don't have to take those courses in the first year. So, you are thinking too early, seventh sister. She was neither humble nor arrogant. There was not a trace of fear in her eyes. It's not early, little girl. You can't make everyone lose their appetite every time you come, can you? And who in the Sheng family would do that kind of work? Then do you have any good suggestions, seventh sister? Mu Qiqi threw the question back to Xing Minghui. It's simple. Change your course. Or don't come to the Sheng family. Isn't that easy? But I'm doing well in my studies. I don't want to change. Mu Qiqi replied to Xing Minghui stubbornly. If you don't want to see me, you can just avoid me. You actually want me, the young lady of the Sheng family, to avoid you? What else can I do? After all, you are the one who feels uncomfortable when you see me. You have to think about your own health. The elders of the Sheng family did not stop them when they saw them bickering. Grandpa Sheng even smiled. The dining table was very quiet when Chi-Chi was not around. Now it's finally lively. But, Chi-Chi, can you really not change your studies? The Sheng family is a prestigious family after all. Eighth brother can arrange whatever you want to do. Even if you don't want to learn anything and just want to play at home, it's still better than eighth brother being talked about behind his back. Sheng Minghui looked at Mu Chi-Chi. She wanted to know how she would answer Grandpa Sheng. Will you be criticized? Mu Chi-Chi turned to ask Xing Xiao, who was beside her. Xing Xiao looked playful. Who would dare to? Then there's no problem. Mu Chi-Chi did not care about Grandpa Sheng's pressure at all. She was as soft as a ball of cotton. She was not angry. She was just talking about the matter. As an elder, how could he not let the little girl go? Now that you mention it, I am being a busybody. Chi-Chi, although you are a Shen, you are also a new member of the Sheng family. Remember to respect your elders. Okay, Grandpa. Although you are engaged to Xing Xiao and everything is official, don't be too proud. After all, you still have a few years to register your marriage. The old man's words carried a hint of threat. Be more polite to your seventh sister next time. Understand? As for your course, I will arrange for you to transfer to another faculty. You can also tell Grandpa which university you like. It seemed that this dictator was going to put his hands on her head. Sheng Minghui looked at Mu Chi-Chi provocatively. She knew that Grandpa Sheng would always side with his granddaughter. How could he help an outsider? With Mu Chi-Chi's capability, how could she overcome the Buddha's 5 fingers mountain? Mu Chi-Chi said nothing. But Sheng Xiao put food in Mu Chi-Chi's bowl. He said to everyone, how can I let others interfere with Chier's matter? Save it. Xing Xiao, how can you say that? If seventh sister insists on interfering with our lives, I will find a good black man and send him to your bed on a good day. Sheng Minghui's face changed. Don't you think you are shameless? What can you do to me? Xing Xiao retorted. Grandpa, if you're asking us to go home just to talk nonsense, then don't count us in. After all, there's food everywhere, isn't there? Chapter 266. Xing Xiao, you are only engaged. You are not married. Grandpa Sheng was a little angry. I thought you would have to endure it for a few more years. So, you want to make things ugly now? Xing Xiao leaned against the chair and glared at Grandpa Sheng. You are engaged to an 18-year-old girl. Don't you have to follow the rules? She is my woman. I know how to discipline her even if she does something wrong. Why do you need to worry about that? Can't I say something? No. Xing Xiao replied firmly. And you, seventh sister, if you cause trouble again, don't blame me for not warning you beforehand. Just as Xing Xiao finished speaking, he heard a loud slap. The old man slammed his hand on the table and pointed at Xing Xiao. I'd like to see if you can live a long life with such a young and delicate wife. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chi-Chi's shoulder and looked at Grandpa Sheng fearlessly. You guys can eat. Grandpa Sheng stood up and left the table. He brought seventh sister and fourth uncle with him. Xing Xiao, don't use force against Grandpa every time. It is not good for Mu Chi-Chi. Fourth sister felt goosebumps all over her body when she thought of the tense atmosphere just now. I'm not afraid. Mu Chi-Chi immediately stood up and expressed her attitude. Xing Xiao caressed Mu Chi-Chi's hair and smiled. Whether it is soft or hard, I will not let Chier be wronged, especially in front of me. What if Grandpa decides to use force one day? I can afford it. But he can't. Xing Xiao said firmly to fourth sister. You can continue to do that. Papa Sheng could not stand Xing Xiao's protective attitude. So he stood up and left the table. Xing Xiao ignored him and said to Mu Chi-Chi, hurry up and eat. Let's go home early. I'm trying my best. Mu Chi-Chi tilted her head. There were a few weirdos in the Sheng family. One was Grandpa Sheng, who was a dictator and wanted to control the fate of everyone in the Sheng family. The other was Xing Xiao. He was unmoved by force or persuasion. He did things according to his mood. No one could suppress him. At the same time, no one could please him. Alright then. In the future, unless it's an important occasion, you don't have to come over for a meal. Otherwise it'll be unpleasant. Mama Xing decided. Chi-Chi, you don't have to take your grandfather's words to heart. You just have to remember that you have eighth brother to protect you. You don't have to worry about anything else. I know, Mom. In fact, Mu Chi-Chi's bravery was all an act. She knew what kind of person Xing Xiao was, and she did not want to be a burden to him. It was not that she was not afraid of Grandpa Sheng's oppression, but she had to be resilient. She could not be threatened by anyone. Even if she had to fight in the end, she would not be alone because she had Xiao Xiao's protection. After a hasty dinner, Xing Xiao left with Mu Qiqi. Meanwhile, Grandpa Sheng and Xing Minghui were on the top floor of the mansion, watching their sports car drive away. Seventh brother, help Grandpa think of a way to make the relationship between the two of them less intimate. As long as eighth brother hates this girl, I can directly kick her out. Grandpa, you should know that I won't be able to bear the consequences if I touch Xing Xiao's people. Xing Minghui was afraid of Xing Xiao. I'm here. What are you afraid of? Grandpa Xing turned around and asked her. Do whatever you can to make eighth brother hate this girl as soon as possible. Make them break up. I feel sick every time I see a forensic doctor. I'm already so old, but I'm still disgusted by such things. How can I not follow your orders, Grandpa? Xing Minghui smiled. In the end, Mu Qiqi was at the age where she loved to play. She did not believe that she could reject the vanity of a man who kept chasing after her. She had to think of a way to deal with Mu Qiqi from all aspects. As long as she could find evidence that Mu Qiqi was having an affair with someone else, Xing Xiao would know how to deal with a traitor without telling anyone. And school was the easiest place for Mu Qiqi to break her plan. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi was already imagining a drama of a rich family on her way home. Whether she was willing or not, she could not run away from Grandpa Sheng's attitude today. Grandpa hinted that we still have a few years before we can register. Is it clear that he won't let me join the Sheng family? Do you think that Grandpa Sheng is only cunning in these aspects? Xing Xiao sneered as he drove. He will definitely give me a woman and give you a man at the same time. He has always regarded relationships as child's play, and he has never believed that true love exists in the world. However, all long-term couples are because of the balance of power. Give me another man? Mu Qiqi was shocked. I can't handle you alone, okay? Little one, do you want to die? Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes in the face of Xing Xiao's threat. I finally understand where your demonic genes come from. You must have the magical genes to fight against Grandpa since you were young? But Mu Qiqi did not show any fear. This surprised Xing Xiao. Aren't you afraid at all? As long as I'm sure that you won't leave me and I won't leave you, then I'm not afraid of anything. I'm only 18 years old. I can try anything. Who asked me to trust you so much? In the night sky, Xing Xiao saw Mu Qiqi's twinkling eyes. His heart was stirred, because her eyes were as dazzling as the stars. Everyone seemed to be looking forward to a stable marriage. But even the most stable relationship could fall apart in the end. That was why every marriage was a gamble. Did Grandpa Xing think that external forces could destroy their combined souls? Let's try. Did he think that she was young and fickle? But the truth was that it was easier for an 18-year-old to sacrifice herself for love. On the other hand, Xing Minglan was much more spirited now that Grandpa Sheng had temporarily stopped looking at her. Jing Yun relaxed his furrowed brow when he saw that. His gloomy mood was swept away. But that did not mean that Xing Minglan had let her guard down. She was carefully considering Jing Yun's suggestion. He had to prepare for a rainy day and quickly find a way out for himself. But perhaps because Grandpa Sheng felt that he owed Xing Minglan after what happened last time or something else, he had put Xing Minglan's marriage as the first priority. Recently he was in contact with an English tycoon. He believed that English men would make good husbands because they were polite. More importantly, the man was interested in finding an Asian woman as his wife. And he was very satisfied after seeing Xing Minglan's photo. Chapter 267. Mama Sheng looked at Xing Minglan's face and knew that she did not want to be controlled. And because she saw Xing Minglan trying so hard to control herself, Mama Sheng felt that it was a wise choice to let Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi get engaged. She used to obey Grandpa Sheng. But when she saw how much her son liked Mu Qiqi, her heart wavered. That was why she helped her son. If Xing Xiao's marriage was arranged like this, she thought that Xing Xiao would probably die with Grandpa Sheng. To prevent Xing Minglan from crying, Mama Sheng brought Xing Minglan away after the meeting and went straight to Xing Xiao's house in Jingting. Mu Qiqi knew that something had happened when she saw her mother bringing fourth sister to Jingting even though it was already late. She quickly welcomed them. Qiqi, fourth sister will stay here tonight. Comfort her. I'll cover for her when I get home. Don't worry, Mom. Mu Qiqi held Xing Minglan's hand and realized that it was cold. Did Grandpa force you again? Qiqi. Xing Minglan suddenly hugged Mu Qiqi. She finally could not control her emotions. I don't understand why Grandpa thinks that his interference is charity to us. No one wants his charity. He is too domineering. Do you know that he is going to introduce me to some Englishmen? I can't take it anymore. Mu Chichi did not know how to comfort her. So, she took out some wine and got drunk with her even though she was not a good drinker. However, since Xing Minglan wanted to get drunk too, the two women ended up getting drunk in the living room, leaning against each other as if drunk as mud. Xing Xiao frowned when he got home and carried Mu Chichi back to the bedroom. Then he put Xing Minglan on the sofa and called Jing Yun. Fourth sister is in Jing Ting. Come and take care of her. Young master, men and women should be different. You should let Aunt Wu take care of fourth sister. Jing Yun was still trying to control himself. What nonsense are you talking about? I don't believe you don't know that Grandpa Sheng is interfering with her marriage again. And this time it's even an Englishman. Aunt Wu can take care of her body, but can she take care of her mood? I'm upstairs and won't go downstairs tonight. Do as you see fit. Fourth sister is lying on the sofa downstairs. No one cares even if she's cold. Jing Yun was sure that Xing Xiao did it on purpose. But could he leave Xing Minglan alone? Of course not. If he was at the Sheng family he would have asked for help. But if he was at Jing Ting, could he be a little presumptuous? Jing Yun did not think much about it and went to Jing Ting. When he reached the living room, he saw Xing Minglan lying on the sofa in her thin clothes. So, he quickly went to the guest room, took out a blanket and covered Xing Minglan with it. Perhaps sensing that something was wrong with her body, Xing Minglan opened her eyes with much difficulty. She struggled to sit up when she saw Jing Yun right in front of her, his face full of worry. Did I forget myself again? No. Jing Yun shook his head. Young master is taking care of Miss Chichi upstairs. Fifth aunt has gone home, so... Still half awake, Xing Minglan sat up and suddenly reached out to caress his cheek. I'd rather marry you than marry some Englishman. Fourth miss. Jing Yun was stunned. Are you unwilling? Do you know what you're saying? Jing Yun's eyes were full of restraint. Xing Minglan smiled and suddenly threw herself into Jing Yun's arms. Sometimes I just want to marry someone and be done with it. But I just can't accept it. I don't want to be manipulated. Jing Yun hugged Xing Minglan, but did not have any improper thoughts. He carried her into the bedroom and stayed by her bedside. Upstairs, Xing Xiao came downstairs. When he opened the door and saw the scene, he really wanted to smack Jing Yun with a stick. He wanted to see what kind of paste was in his brain, and he wasted such a good chance. Of course, he was not talking about having sex with her. Instead, he was saying that it was a good chance for Jing Yun to tell Xing Minglan what was on his mind. Even so, he knew very well that Jing Yun would not say anything if he was sure that he could not give Xing Minglan anything. In the end, Xing Xiao closed the door and returned to the bedroom upstairs. He was going to teach the little one a lesson. She did not know how to drink and still got herself drunk. Mu Chichi was completely unaware that the man on top of her was angry. She only knew that in her days, the man's actions were not gentle at all. Instead, it was punishing. But after that, Mu Chichi felt very comfortable all over. After all, the man cleaned her up and even massaged her. What an irresistible little one. He did not expect her to wake up tonight. So, he would have to wait until tomorrow morning. But when Xing Minglan woke up in the middle of the night, she was stunned to see Jing Yun sleeping soundly on the bed. But her rationality had returned. Jing Yun must have been scared to death, right? Of course, she could not remember what she said last night. Moreover, since she was awake, she should go home. She could not keep acting like a drunkard here. But when she got off the bed quietly and was about to leave, Jing Yun woke up. Miss Minglan, you sleep. I'm going back. Xing Minglan turned to Jing Yun. I'll send you. You drank. Jing Yun got up. You can go in alone when you reach the Sheng family. Then I won't say goodbye to Xing Xiao and the others. Xing Minglan said. Then they left Jing Ting quietly. In fact, Xing Xiao knew that. He sighed. It was such a good opportunity for Jing Yun to let Xing Minglan go home. It seemed that the blockhead could not be enlightened. Not only did he know, he even went downstairs to stop them. Aren't you going to think of a solution here? Are you going to keep crying when you go home? Xing Minglan saw Xing Xiao coming downstairs in his black pajamas and returned. I don't believe you don't want to get rid of the old man's control. But we are different. What's the difference? Do you think the old man would let Chier marry into his family? Xing Xiao lifted his chin. He knew everything very well. Think of a solution if you have one. No one has to lower their head and admit defeat to the old man. What's your plan, Xing Xiao? Tell me first. Do you have someone you like in your heart? Is that important? Xing Minglan frowned. We are talking about your marriage in the first place. Do you think it's important? Yes or no, it's two different directions to work towards. The difficulty is different too. Xing Xiao replied. Jing Yun looked at Xing Minglan. Xing Minglan looked at Xing Xiao. And Xing Xiao looked at them. Chapter 268. Xing Minglan looked deeply into Xing Xiao's eyes, and then at her brother. In the end she simply said, "No. How could you not?" Xing Xiao said meaningfully. Then he patted the seat beside him. "How can we talk if you don't sit down?" Xing Xiao, now is not the time for jokes. You just have to agree to Grandpa Xing's engagement. Xing Xiao told her directly. You want me to agree? When he relaxes, what you need to do is to bring your company to the table. I know you've been preparing for it. When it's time for the engagement ceremony, you can break the engagement on the spot. Then you can negotiate with Elder Xing and tell him that he won't interfere with your development for the next 3 years. Otherwise we'll all see the consequences. You can be so shameless. Why can't you? Xing Xiao asked in return. Fourth sister, you are a bold person. And the only person who can fight for your freedom is you. Just tell me if you need anything else. As your brother, how can I not help you? Xing Minglan took a deep breath and said nothing. Since you are going to resist, why don't you make a big fuss? The gentle fourth sister suddenly made such a big fuss. Do you think that Grandpa Xing, a calculative person, would not know the consequences of forcing you? Moreover, you are determined to be a strong woman. This is to ease the impact of breaking the engagement on Grandpa Xing. Xing Minglan clenched her fists. Then she loosened them. You said that you will cooperate with me. Of course I said that. Even if it is for my Jing Yun, I will help you to the best of my ability. In that instant, Xing Minglan was confused. What does this have to do with Jing Yun? Nothing. Because you are the one who brought him here. Xing Minglan glared at him. But she still believed Xing Xiao. Not only because she wanted to take the gamble, but because she knew very well what Xing Xiao was capable of. Then we have a deal on this matter. Go and take care of Mu Qiqi. I will go back first. Xing Minglan nodded slightly. Jing Yun, send Miss Minglan off. Xing Xiao shouted. Understood. Jing Yun nodded calmly. He had heard the conversation between the siblings just now, and he had mixed feelings about it. It turned out that Xing Minglan had no one she liked. This answer was both comforting and cruel to him. Xing Xiao smiled as he watched Xing Minglan leave. Challenging the old man's authority was his favorite thing to do. The old man was getting on in years and should have stepped down from his position of power a long time ago. Since he chose to torment his children and grandchildren, then he couldn't blame his children and grandchildren for giving him a taste of his own medicine. Suddenly, she was looking forward to seeing fourth sister standing on the stage and breaking off the engagement. A woman with courage should be the prettiest. He just didn't know if Jing Yun would fall head over heels for his fourth sister. When he returned to the room, he saw the little one sleeping soundly. He carried her into his arms. It was only a matter of time before he left the Sheng family. Not only his fourth sister, but sooner or later, he would also have to walk this path. Jing Yun was driving back to Xing Mansion. Xing Minglan looked out of the window and suddenly asked him, Am I being unfilial? Miss Minglan, I think there are many kinds of filial piety. If you keep accepting your elders' arrangements and don't think for yourself, then you are just an accessory to your elders. You are not an independent and complete person. Jing Yun answered her. To put it bluntly, the old chairman only treats his children and grandchildren as chess pieces on the chessboard. He might be sincere because people who play chess will put their energy into it. But do you think he has any feelings? Xing Minglan fell into deep thought after hearing that. Moreover, if there is anything you need me to do, Miss Minglan, just let me know. Jing Yun had been by Xing Zhao's side for many years. It was not an exaggeration to say that Jing Yun could be a person who could handle everything on his own even if he was alone. Are you doing this to repay a debt of gratitude? Actually, you don't have to. No. Jing Yun answered Xing Minglan. I want to be like young master. I want to protect the people I think are important to me. Xing Minglan was stunned. Of course she was touched. She felt that out of all the siblings in the Sheng family, only when she was with Xing Xiao could she feel the vitality of life. And Jing Yun was quite influenced by Xing Xiao. Soon the two returned to the Xing family's residence. But it was already dawn. Xing Minghui might have heard the noise. She went out in her pajamas. When she saw Xing Minglan coming back with the smell of alcohol, she could not help but smile. Did you go out to get drunk? It has nothing to do with you. Xing Minglan pushed her away. Move away. Fourth sister, Grandpa has ordered me to find a way to separate Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi. Do you think I will succeed? Hearing that, Xing Minglan pinned her against the wall. Does hurting your own brother make you happy? Xing Xiao has never treated me as his sister, Xing Minglan said excitedly. Do you know how excited I was when Grandpa told me? I couldn't even sleep well last night. You will not succeed, Xing Minglan said seriously. Not only that, you will kneel in front of Xing Xiao and beg him to let you go. Fourth sister, you'd better take care of yourself. Aren't you also like a clay bodhisattva crossing the river? Xing Minglan let go of Xing Minglan and returned to her room, because she was angry. Grandpa Xing had agreed to Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi's engagement, but behind his back he asked someone to separate them. Was this not despicable? Of course she should have gotten used to it, but she still had a glimmer of hope for Grandpa Sheng after all these years. But now she could not hold it in anymore. Since eighth brother had already thought it through, then let's do it. I can't let her suffer here alone. If she was suffering, everyone would suffer together. On the other hand, Mu Qiqi woke up early. Seeing that Xing Xiao had not left, she quickly sat beside him. Xing Xiao took the bowl of soup from fifth aunt and put it in front of Mu Qiqi. Drink it. Mu Qiqi was very obedient. She drank the soup in one gulp. How is fourth sister's matter? Fourth sister has her own way. But little one, it's your 19th birthday soon. How do you want to spend it this year? Xing Xiao changed the topic. Last year she made a scene at Mu Qiqi's house. But in just a year she had become the bride of the Sheng family. I just want to spend the whole day with you. Chapter 269. Okay. Mu Qiqi nodded. She was very satisfied with the result. Then she packed her things and went to school. But when she arrived, she saw a huge banner hanging at the school gate. There was only one sentence written on it. Mu Qiqi, I want to woo you. Mu Qiqi glanced at him and quickly went to the classroom, because she remembered what Xiao Xiao said on the way back from Xing Mansion that night. Old Sheng could not wait to shove men and women around her and Xiao Xiao. It was not easy to do things around Xiao Xiao, but she could be manipulated by anyone, especially in a place like school. Mu Qiqi did not know who put up the banner. She just kept to herself. But when she entered the classroom, she found a sumptuous breakfast and exquisite gifts on her table. Meanwhile, the crowd began to talk among themselves. Isn't Mu Qiqi engaged to the crown prince? How could she go around fooling around? She is really bold. Isn't she afraid that the crown prince would find out? Mu Qiqi threw everything into the trash can and continued her lessons calmly. How could she let old Sheng's plan succeed? There would be fruit juice on the table after class. Lunch would be prepared beforehand. Then the banner would be hung on the tree again after school. What kind of place was a school? Soon rumors would spread. However, Mu Qiqi did not respond. When school was over, Xing Xiao was still the one who arrived at school. He smiled when he saw the banner in the school. Mu Qiqi walked out of the classroom. Xing Xiao took her bag naturally. They got into the car and left together. The crown prince must have seen the banner at the school gate, right? He doesn't care? In my opinion, this is all crown prince's doing. Their fiancé's relationship is so good, why should he worry so much about others? I've asked Jing Yun to contact the school and get the surveillance footage. We will know who it is soon. Xing Xiao told Mu Qiqi on the way home. Okay. Let me handle it when we find him. Mu Qiqi replied. Is it okay? Of course. How else would I be your little one? Mu Qiqi smiled confidently. I want to go back and see my aunt tonight. I wonder how she and the child are doing. If you want to see her, you can bring her to Jingting to stay for a few days. Fifth aunt is also good at preventing miscarriage. She can help her recuperate. I'll ask my uncle for his opinion. This was the first time they had returned to the small villa after their engagement. Because of her advanced age, Su Zipei could only rest in bed. She didn't have a good appetite, so she was in low spirits. But when she saw Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao, her eyes brightened. Qiqi, aunt, it's all my fault. It's been so many days and I haven't come to see you. Aren't you here now? Su Zipei grabbed her hand and looked at her carefully. You are engaged now. You must love young Master Sheng from now on. I know. What about the Sheng family? Is he easy to get along with? Everything's fine. Mu Qiqi replied. She didn't want to tell Su Zipei that she was in trouble now because it would make Su Zipei worry. You have to remember, don't belittle yourself. You are also a dignified young lady, not from a small family. Now you have the Shin family and uncle. We are all your reliable arms. Don't be bullied casually. Don't be silent. With Xiao Xiao around, the Sheng family can only stare at you. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao. She trusted him. Of course, I'm more assured with young Master Sheng around. You must hold each other's hands tightly. Don't let go. Don't be like your mother and father who regret for the rest of their lives. Your main task now is to take care of yourself and the baby. As for me, I'm going to be 19 soon. And I can carry a lot of things. Now Mu Chichi was no longer afraid of him. The family had dinner happily. Lu Wenhua sent them to the door. Chichi, I've just been promoted to the principal of Eton. So, I'm planning to reveal your identity and your aunt's identity. This way you will have a political and business background. No one will dare to touch you easily. Uncle, you fought for it. How can I just sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor? Moreover, I'm Xiao Xiao's fiancé now. If there comes a day when I have to rely on my identity to win, I'll come and beg you again. Principal Lu, you don't have to worry about Xing Xiao knew that the elder meant well. But he could protect his woman. Even if the Sheng family was a dangerous place, he could still let Qi do whatever she wanted. I don't ask for much. I just hope that Xiao Qi can live with dignity in the Sheng family. I do. Mu Chichi told Lu Wenhua firmly. Xiao Xiao gave it to me. That's good. It was already 10 o'clock when the couple returned to Jingting after visiting Su Zipei. But Jing Yun still sent the surveillance footage. Xing Xiao gave it to Mu Chichi. You said it. You can deal with it. You won't even look at it? Xing Xiao was very confident about that. Let's not talk about whether you have the guts to do it. Who dares to go against me in terms of looks, means, wealth and fitness? Narcissist. Mu Chichi couldn't help but roll her eyes. But you don't have to compare yourself with them. These people are just small fries in my heart. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Chichi by her waist. After dinner it's a good time to warm up. Aren't you afraid that you'll get *X when you're so diligent? Are you afraid that you won't have sex for the rest of your life? Now that they were officially engaged, he could have as much sex as he wanted. But Mu Chichi's body would suffer. After Mu Chichi fell asleep, Xing Xiao still called Jing Yun. Have you found out who's behind those despicable things in the school? They have something to do with Miss Qi. Jing Yun answered. It was already midnight. She was still sitting in front of the computer. That was the fate of a single dog. After hearing her answer, Xing Xiao hugged Xiao Qi and laughed. It seems that Miss Qi can't wait to have a taste of the African people. Young master, do you really want to? When have I ever gone back on my words? Since she wants to provoke us, then let's do as she wishes. Help me prepare for the African people. If she does anything, I'll give her a big gift. Anyway, it's just mutual disgust. I understand. Jing Yun nodded. Chapter 270. After making the last call, Jing Yun was about to go to bed when he heard someone knocking on the door. Jing Yun got up and opened the door. He was stunned when he saw Xing Minglan. Miss Minglan, why are you still awake? I'm preparing for the company. I saw that your room is still lit, so I came to ask you. Is it not convenient for me to come in? No. Jing Yun shook his head. I'm just worried that Miss Minglan might see you and make a fuss about it. You have been in the Sheng family for so many years. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. Don't be afraid. Xing Minglan entered Jing Yun's room and saw the various gifts he had given her on his desk. They were all from abroad. Are they all here? Other than Miss Minglan, no one else gave me gifts. So they are all here. Jing Yun replied. If you mind, these are your things. Why should I mind? Xing Minglan smiled and sat down in Jing Yun's room. You must have a lot of experience in doing business with Xing Xiao. Come quickly, I have a few questions and I want your advice. Being alone with Xing Minglan in the same space, there was nothing else he could do except for the night in Jingting. Jing Yun was very nervous because he was really afraid that Miss Minglan would be gossiped about. Then, can you finish your questions quickly? Can you go back and rest early? Xing Minglan could not help but smile when she heard Jing Yun's question. Why do you care about my reputation more than me? Come quickly. Jing Yun walked to Xing Minglan's side. Although he was very nervous, he still took the documents from Xing Minglan. And when it came to professional issues, Jing Yun was a completely different person. Because he could only be confident when it came to the business world. And when it came to management, funds and systems, he was radiant and looked very heroic. Xing Xiao was a natural manipulator. He liked to take risks and gamble. He was also good at devising strategies. And Jing Yun was the meticulous and precise like an electronic instrument. Xing Minglan felt something deep in her heart after she heard that. Although women could hold up half the sky now, they were still lacking when it came to intelligence. Because Jing Yun could think and consider all aspects. Rationality was the key to a man's success in his career. When they were done, Xing Minglan couldn't help smiling. You're no longer the little boy in rags on a snowy night. Miss 4, the questions have been answered. You should return to your room and rest. Xing Minglan nodded when she saw how serious he was. You should rest early too. As if relieved of a heavy burden, Jing Yun took a deep breath. Still, before Xing Minglan left his room, she turned to him and asked, with your ability, you could have gone out and made a name for yourself a long time ago. Why would you stay as Xing Zhao's assistant? If young master needs me, I will follow him for a lifetime. This way I can protect you forever. Of course, Xing Minglan didn't know what Jing Yun was thinking. She took the documents and went back to her room. But when she closed the door, her heart suddenly raced. In fact, she had already discussed these issues with the company's risk appraiser. She did not know why, but she could only go to Jing Yun's place in the big Xing family so that she would not feel nervous. But Jing Yun was a shy child, so she had to be careful. Grandpa Xing told her to get in touch with the Englishman, and she did it. If there were no mistakes, it would not be long before the announcement of the engagement was made. Since Grandpa Xing was pressuring her, she couldn't be blamed for making a bigger fuss than Xing Xiao. And in Jing Yun's heart, he only hoped that Miss Minglan's dream would come true. The next morning, Mu Qiqi arrived at school as usual. She smiled when she saw the banner hanging in the school. This ice beauty was famous in school. Because for Xing Xiao, she didn't need any friends. She only needed Qianqian. If she made friends, she would have a new social life. So she couldn't go home on time. She felt that it was a burden. Soon, she entered the classroom and threw the breakfast on her table into the dustbin again. Yesterday she didn't know who the person was. But today it was different. The person was a second-year student in the finance faculty. His name was Xiao Chenhao. He was a rich playboy. His character seemed to be imitating Xing Xiao. If it wasn't because of that, Xing Minghui might not be interested in this chess piece. In other words, it was a kind of admiration for Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi asked a senior from the finance department about Xiao Chenhao's class today, so she went to the lecture hall early to get a seat. Soon she saw Xiao Chenhao entering the classroom. He was wearing a sporty outfit and headphones, thinking that he was very cool. Then the teacher came to the class. But before the class started, Mu Qiqi walked to the front and said to the finance teacher, "Can I have a few minutes of your time? I want to say something." The audience cheered. Because everyone knew that it was Mu Qiqi, a first-year student in the forensic science faculty. Although the teacher was a little confused, he still gave up his seat to Mu Qiqi. He wanted to know what Mu Qiqi wanted to do. Then Mu Qiqi walked to the podium. She glanced at all the seniors, especially at Xiao Chenhao's seat. "Seniors, I'm sorry. I have to take up a few minutes of your time. Because I have a private matter that I want to solve." "Go ahead." The audience wanted to watch a good show. But this time Mu Qiqi only called out one name. Senior Xiao Chenhao. As Mu Qiqi called out, everyone's eyes were focused on him, including Mu Qiqi herself. "Your behavior has seriously disturbed my normal life. Your banners are everywhere and it's not environmentally friendly. Also, the breakfast you bought is not nutritious at all. Please don't put it on my table in the future. Otherwise I'll have to waste time cleaning it up." After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, the whole class cheered. "Wow, I have a family. I don't want to play such ambiguous games with you. Please control yourself and don't cause me trouble. And I have to say, you should know who my man is, right? How could you do such a stupid thing under such circumstances? What are you thinking? It's fine if you have a problem with your thinking. But don't treat others like idiots. As long as they are not blind, they will know what to do. Don't try to ruin my relationship. I will fight you to the death. That's all I want to say. Please continue." "Teacher, I'm sorry." Then Mu Qiqi bowed deeply to the teacher. Her movement was fast and handsome. Before anyone could react, she had already disappeared at the door of the classroom. "Damn, that's so cool. Xiao Chenhao, I didn't expect you to be the one who caused such a commotion in the past 2 days. What are you thinking? Why did you compete with the crown prince?" Chapter 271. Mu Qiqi was full of thorns. To her, she was not interested in anything other than studying and Xing Xiao. Such a girl to others is cold and cool, but many girls like her because very few girls can be as cool and unrestrained as her. Before meeting Xing Xiao, Mu Qiqi was weak and easily bullied. But after being with Xing Xiao, Mu Qiqi's personality became more and more obvious. Xiao Chenhao did not expect Mu Qiqi to counterattack so quickly. He had prepared a lot of good scenes but did not get to perform in time. But it did not matter. He liked the exciting Mu Chichi. Soon, the news that Mu Chichi went to the finance department to warn Xiao Chenhao spread all over the campus. The girls were talking about it. Mu Chichi was just a freshman. How could she be so cool? It was totally against the rules. I'm used to seeing those naive girls flirting with different people in the name of not wanting to hurt others. But now, I'm shocked to see Mu Chichi so determined to defend her feelings. She is not stupid. She already has a crown prince. Who would want a weak girl in school? I quite like Mu Chichi's character. I was shocked when she chose to study forensic medicine. According to her grades, she is more than qualified to study in the best department in Xingting. Isn't that right? How many people can be like her? She is so clear about what she likes and hates. Because of this incident, the school's impression of Mu Chichi changed. Moreover, she chose an unpopular major with high grades. Mu Chichi's cold image was deeply rooted in everyone's heart. She was just a little girl. She came home in a hurry every day. But when they saw her grades were all A+, how could they not admire her? Moreover, she was good at science, which girls hated. I think it's time to change the ranking of the campus bells in Xingting. Please replace those vases. It's not like we don't have beautiful and smart students. Of course, Mu Chichi could not hear the discussions behind her back. Even if she did, she would not care. In Huangyao, Xing Xiao watched the video that the finance students had recorded and uploaded to the internet. The smile on his lips widened infinitely. Sure enough, he did not dote on the little one for nothing. Her posture was just like a president taking an oath. He could feel that the little one was very afraid of the outside world destroying their relationship. So, he was not worried about any third party at all. Because the little one's heart was filled with him. Seeing that he was in a good mood, Jing Yun took the documents and told him, "The people you want have been arranged. They can be sent to the Sheng family anytime." Then what are we waiting for? Such a good gift, of course I have to send it to Seven Sister as soon as possible. I'm afraid it won't be easy to explain to the old chairman. I'll say it first. The one who provoked me first is AB*TCH. If the old man wants to cause trouble for me, then I know to continue to cause trouble for seventh brother. Xing Xiao said coldly. I won't let anyone who makes cheat or unhappy have it easy. Because no one has thought of giving in to me. If Xing Minghui isn't afraid of trouble, why should I be? I understand now. Although Xing Minghui knew that Xing Xiao was a lawless person, he would not dare to do anything to her under Grandpa Sheng's watch. But, with Sheng Zhao's character of doing what he said, she was too confident in her own judgment. That night, Xing Minghui returned to her room after dinner with her family. She took off her clothes and was about to take a shower when she found a dark-skinned man lying in her bathroom. She was startled and screamed. Then she quickly put on her pajamas and went to Grandpa Sheng's study, crying. When Grandpa Sheng knew about it, his face changed. He was very angry. Papa Sheng dialed Xing Zhao's cell phone right away. What the hell did you do? Come home now. Xing Xiao had been waiting for the call. He smiled. I'm on my way. Xing Minghui burst into tears. She was a girl after all. How could she not cry when she encountered such a thing? That was also why old Master Sheng was so angry. On the other hand, Mama Sheng and Xing Minglan stood at a corner and looked at each other. Xing Xiao would not do anything if Xing Minghui did not cross the line. He did not have the time. But since he did, it meant that Xing Minghui had done something even worse. Why are you in such a hurry to go back to the Sheng family? Mu Chichi asked, puzzled. Of course I'm going back to watch the show. Xing Xiao said and quickened his pace. Soon they reached the main gate of Xing Mansion. The Shengs were sitting in the living room. Xing Xiao led Mu Chichi into the living room. Xing Minghui cried even louder when she saw them. Grandpa, you have to stand up for me. Grandpa Xing stomped his walking stick and pointed at Xing Xiao. You are too much. Your seventh sister is a girl. How could you let a black man bully her? You are a bastard. At that, Xing Xiao pushed Mu Chichi to sit beside Mama Sheng. Then he looked at Xing Minghui and said, I've told you before. If seventh sister had behaved herself, this wouldn't have happened. You are so unfilial. She's your sister. How could she get married in the future? Grandpa, Xing Minghui cried even harder. I never thought that you would do such a thing to your own sister. You are worse than an animal. I admit that I am not human, Xing Xiao answered. Xing Xiao answered Grandpa Sheng. At the same time he took out his phone from his pocket and threw it in front of Grandpa Sheng. Then I'll ask seventh sister today. What are you trying to do by bribing the students and ruining Chi-Chi's reputation? Are you trying to make everyone think that she is fooling around and shaming the Sheng family? Are you trying to kick her out of the family? Well, Grandpa, Can you tell me what you are trying to do? I admit that I have gone overboard by giving gifts to Seventh Sister. But what about her? Is it what a sister should do to do such dirty things behind my back? Grandpa Sheng, you are not such a double-standard person, are you? Grandpa Sheng's face flushed when he saw that. Even so, it is your sister's fault. You should just talk to her nicely. Why did you do that? Did she discuss it with me when she hurt Chi-Er and me? Moreover, I have told you before. Is there anyone in the Xing family who doesn't know that I, Xing Xiao, am a man of my words? I was just scaring you today. If there is a next time, it won't be as easy as tonight, Seventh Sister. Xing Xiao warned her coldly. As a member of the Xing family, you should have the self-awareness of a Sheng. You still want to talk to Grandpa Sheng? You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.